Hello, race fans. Welcome back to our second establishment of the night here on Freaking Fast Broadcasting. What a race we got here. High tension. Tell you what, we got a big one here tonight here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We got 362 miles, 145 laps of round 12 action here at the RSR Cup Series for Evolution Racing Leagues. And I'm telling you what, tonight's going to be very critical as this is race 2 of the round of 12. And after tonight, we could definitely see somebody maybe get that victory in the playoffs, lock themselves in, as we have not seen a playoff driver all playoffs get a race victory. And this is our 5th race of the playoffs. So, man, oh man, you never know how that could play out. As always, the RSR Cup Series is brought to you by Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. I am Zach Hall here calling the action. Alongside me tonight is my partner in crime, Mr. Brandon Colley. And alongside us, we got our main man, Robert Moyer Jr. up here running the cameras and getting everything nice and tidy for us and giving everybody the great spectacle we see here tonight in this beautiful 1440p quality. So thank you to everybody tuning in. It should be a wonderful race tonight and a very tough one at that, as we'll get into that as we go through our beginning here. But Brandon, what do you expect to hear tonight at the Brickyard, man? It is a tough racetrack, and I tell you what, we got a long one here. It's going to be very critical all night to stay on top of your game.
Well, I'm expecting a lot of tire strategies here, as they've only got 3 sets in the pits for this long race. Gonna need to keep your car clean, absolutely. Stay out of trouble, be very patient, and I expect some guys to push maybe a little bit too hard and end up in the fence.
Yeah, it's very easy to do here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Very, very tight track. You know, not really built for stock cars, but we got stock cars here tonight. And I tell you what, as we said, we are in the round of 12, and we got some great playoff action. And we'll pull up the points here to be able to get a look here at how it looks coming into tonight. And remember, 8 drivers move on after the next race here in the RSR Cup Series. So we got one more race in the round of 12 after tonight. But here's our points. Here's our points leader, Travis Everett, last week's runner-up at Darlington to Craig Burns. He has a 33-point lead coming in here tonight. He's also tied with GT there, as you can see. So they both have a 33-point lead coming in here to the cut line here tonight. So 33 points is a pretty good gap. Third there place, you got the 11 of Matt Rush, 22 points up on that cut line. Next, you got Nolan Potter in the 34. He's 4th in points, 20 points up, good to the cut line. 5th is going to be Zach Strittenthal. They're 15 points good to the cut line. 6th is going to be Randy Cornwell, 11 points to the good in the cut line. 7th is Michael Sheffield. He is 9 points good to the cut line. And then here on 8th, right on the bubble, is Matt Upbrook. And he is dead on, 0 points above. So him and Andrew Little here in 9th are even in points, but Matt Upbrook right now is the 8th place man, so he would move on if tonight was the finisher, but it's not. We have 2 more races, so there you go. As I said, Andrew Little is dead even there with Matt Upbrook in 9th position. So 10th is going to be Scott Taylor. He is 14 points behind that cut line. Then you're going to go to Kevin Sevilla in that 78, 17 points good to 17 points out of that cut line. And then your final spot here, 12th, is Curtis Preston at 29 in the 12th position, 35 points out. But, you know, we got 2 races with stages here. You can make up some points here, that's for sure. So it's going to be very, very tough. And also you got Slide Job Racing leading our team owner point standing. So I tell you what, guys, it's getting really down to the thick of things. If you want to have a shot at this championship, you're going to have to perform these next 2 races, that's for sure, to be able to put yourself in that round of 8. And then we'll have that one race to decide who our final 4 are. So it's getting to the nitty-gritty as we're getting ahead to qualifying. It's man, I really feel for these drivers. The nerves have got to be high, because I tell you what, we got a heck of a race here tonight with the stages here at lap 40 and lap 80. And then Brandon, we got some definite tire strategy to play out, don't we?
Yeah, that's right, Zach. You know, they can only go about 22 to 25 laps on fuel with this 50% load, so they're going to have to make quite a few pit stops where they're not taking any tires. And these things are already a handful on fresh tires, and once they get really worn in, man, you're going to be struggling. So trying to, you know, run 50 laps or more if they elect to, maybe stretch it to 3 stops without taking tires, it's definitely going to be a struggle.
Tire strategy is going to be super critical tonight. It's literally going to be, like you said, a struggle to keep them things under you. But that's going to be the key. You know, the people who can manage the tires the best are going to come out of here in the best position. You know, and you're going to have to question yourself: do you want to take a set of tires that give you stage points? When do you want to get that tires that give you stage points? But you only have 3 sets in the pits, 4 including the one you start on. You know, with 145 laps, 362 miles around this 2.5-mile super speedway, man, it's really tough. In this place, I'm telling you, the fall off is tremendous. You know, being a 2.5-mile racetrack, you know, completing 25 laps around here is like completing 50 around another racetrack. So you're going to see some definite fall off from these tires. These guys are going to have to make them last. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. As we're watching Curtis Preston, he is 12th in points from our playoff drivers here. 35 points out as he gets Darlington. But I tell you what, Curtis Preston's been strong all year here at the RSR Cup Series. If he can get some good stages in the next 2 races and get great finishes also along with that, he can points his way in, or he could possibly get that win, because we have not seen a playoff driver win. Do you think we see a playoff driver win here tonight, Kylie?
Well, my gut says yes. You know, these guys have put themselves in a position to still be fighting for the championship, so they've got to be the best of the best this year. But these non-playoff drivers just keep showing up and keep making big statements that, you know, hey, I'm not here this year, but next year you better watch out. There's a couple guys in the field, like, you know, Randy Cornwell. He normally plays really good strategy, and the strategy is what is absolutely going to win you the race tonight. You know, it's one thing to have speed, but if you just make a bad call at the wrong moment, it's all for nothing. So you've got to be on top of that, and we know for sure that he's a man that definitely knows how to play strategy.
Strategy is one thing you're going to hear from ourselves all night. It's going to be very, very critical as these guys are trying to get that Sheffield Graphics pole work here tonight, as they're all putting in laps right now. Looks like Nolan Potter on top of the board. But strategy is going to be so critical. And as I say that, Travis Everett bumps himself up to the top of the board, our points leader. But yeah, it's a strategy game tonight with how long this race is, how the stages play out, where you want to get points at, and how many sets of tires you have. Tire management and tire strategy is going to be our number one thing we talk about all night. We're going to sound like a broken record, but it's literally everything these guys are going to be facing. I'm excited to see how it all shakes out, as we got about 2 minutes left here in qualifying, and we'll see who can bring home and maybe kiss them virtual bricks, man. This is a very special place to win, Brandon. I'm trying to think if I have run an IndyCar race here.
Yeah, I was going to say,
nice.
you managed to win an Indy 500 here in the IndyCars, so you know a little bit about that. As a matter of fact, my very first win in the Cup car here on iRacing came at Indy in a fuel mileage race. So
wow,
this place is a little special to me, as much as I dislike it.
Yeah, it's a tough track, but I think everybody wants to win here. It's a place that we mark on our schedule saying, man, this is somewhere I want to win, and it's really cool to see who can bring it home tonight and maybe kiss the virtual bricks and maybe pour some milk on them. You know, I had a good time pouring the milk on me. It was really cold. It was really cold. So, you know,
I didn't pour milk on myself when I won here.
I had to do it. I said I was going to do it. When you say a statement, you're a man of your word. You stick to it. So, our producer's laughing at me right now because he's the person I said, I'm going to do it. I'll send you a picture. You can go check that out on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's somewhere on there where I'm pouring the milk all over me. It was definitely, I tell you what, I've never poured milk on me before. It was definitely an interesting experience. So, oh man, but I tell you what, it's going to be fun here tonight. We're going to have a blast, and we're going to see who can come out of here with some really good points, and you know, who can position themselves to win a championship. It's coming down really to the nitty gritty, and you know, I'm excited to see how it all shakes out, as we got about 4 seconds left. It looks like Kevin Jadrosich here trying to make it to the line. He is not going to make it. Oh, so he's going to have to last with that one lap there in 21st. But man, oh man, our Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight is Travis Everett in that 59 machine, and we're going to head to the grid and get to this grid. We'll get a talk in with Travis. So here it is, Travis Everett, your pole setter here tonight Followed along by Zach Schrinthal in that number 2 machine, starting second. Third is going to go to Curtis Preston. He got a big points tonight in that 29 machine. Fourth is going to go to Nolan Potter in that 34. Fifth place will be Nathan Campbell in that 52. Sixth will be Ryan Bean. Seventh is going to go to Matt Ubrick on the cut line here entering tonight. Dustin Stallings in 84 will start 8th. GT Irizarry will be starting in that 9th position, tied for the points lead with Travis Everett. 10th is Brock Potter in that 4 machine. 11th will be Bob Fitzpatrick. 12th is Casey Kuntz. 13th, Craig A. Burns, last week's winner at Darlington. 14th will be Adam Buzzio. 15th goes to Matthew Rush. 16th, Michael Sheffield. Kevin Ruff will start in the 17th position. Chad Biesinger is 18th. 19th will go to Harold Watkins. 20th is Andrew Little. Kevin G. Addersich in that 9 machine starting in 21st. 22nd will go to Daniel Gonzalez in the 99. 23rd will go to Kevin Sabilla. 24th is Randy Cornwell in that 18 machine. Followed along by the 25th is Tony Ludi. 26th will go to Robert Nestor in that 8 machine, followed by Michael Martino in 27th. 28th will go to Marc-Andre Thibodeau in that 27 machine. 29th will be David Hall. 30th will go to Anthony Yunes. 31st, Richard Gonzalez. 32nd, Kevin Zabladil. 33rd, Junior Miller. 34th, Ryan Ezel. 35th, Scott Taylor, and rounding out your field tonight is James Wright in 36. I tell you what, 36 car field here tonight, very special here at the virtual Indianapolis, and we will get a talking with your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here of Travis Everett with our main man Brandon Colley. So we'll bring Travis on.
Hey Travis, it's Brandon. You got a copy, bud?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Well, man, coming into this race, leading the points in this round of 12, come in and just slam it on the pole. Difficult racetrack, especially to put down a really quick lap. You know, what are you looking for in this race here? It's a long, grueling race. You don't have enough tires to take a set every time you have to pit for these short stints that you're going to be running. You know, what's the game plan? What's going through your mind right now?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tire game. Not looking to go out and lead every lap. Hoping for solid top 10. That would be nice. Definitely not my favorite track, but we'll see what we can pull out here.
Well, a good way to start that is starting on the pole as you did. And, you know, we've seen just running different races at Indy where track position really matters. It gets really hard to pass when the tires wear in. Are you going to try to save just a little bit to maybe be able to make those passes later in the run?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think you got to save a little bit. You can get around here full throttle the first few laps, but that's really going to kill the tires, and it's really loose coming off. It's a little chance you got to take if you want to run full throttle. But, yeah, we're definitely going to lay it on back and save some.
All right, bud. Well, you guys coming around here to take the green. Wish you the best of luck, and thanks for talking with us here, and hopefully we can talk to you at the end.
Appreciate it. Hope we put on a good show for everybody.
All right, that was Travis Everett, your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight in that 59 machine, coming here leading the points. Like you said, a good start for him, Brandon. It's going to be a very important night for all these playoff drivers. The top 4 are playoff contenders here. And, man, I tell you what, he hit the nail on the head there, Brandon, as that's my saying. You can't go out here and lead every lap tonight. That's for sure, as the pace car takes that hard left. But we're going to see who's going to try here as we get ready to kick it off here for the RSR Cup Series in the round of 12 here at Indianapolis. Green flag is in the air here as they go down the front straightaway, cross the bricks. Who's going to come back around to lead this lap? We'll have to see. But I tell you what, a long race here tonight. Going to have to be showing a lot of patience and a lot of mental fortitude to come back from this victory.
Patience is absolutely the key word here. You know, a race that is this long and where you have to be this patient, it really rewards drivers that are that total package of consistency and, you know, racing IQ, the guys that know strategy in and out. You got to make it to the end of the race to have a chance to win the race, and just don't put yourself in a bad position to where you're out on strategy, you're behind the 8 ball here, trying to figure out a way to think yourself back onto the lead lap and back to that top 10.
Going to be a tough night for all these drivers, man. It's definitely not going to be easy, as we already got some drivers pretty much lining up single file, but some guys looking to the inside, but I think most guys are going to be playing that strategy of saving their stuff. They know you got a limited set. You got 3 tires here to make 362 miles. Well, 4 sets including the tires on the cars, so that's a difficult task in itself. And you can already see back there GT in that 14. He's getting to the inside of someone down the back straightaway. It looks like that is on Matt Upbrook. So trying to take that 7th position possibly in 16 as they go down in 3 and 4. He will, as Curtis Preston already putting the pressure on Travis Everett up front. Curtis needs a really good night tonight to be able to overcome that points gap he has. But I tell you what, Curtis Preston, he's ever since we started here, these tracks he's looked strong. So wouldn't be surprised to see him up there up front contending for this.
Well, normally, Zach, in a lot of leagues, they don't do stages. So being 30 points back, essentially full race behind, is a really big hurdle to overcome. But when you get, potentially 20 free points during the race with these stages to be able to gain, it's not that daunting of a task to come back from. And he's running, 2nd place now. I'm sure he wants to get to the lead at some point and, maximize the points for the stages. But even running 2nd and getting 9 points for the stage, still great effort for him.
Stages are very critical, like you said, making up those 20 points. He comes in tonight 35 points out in that 12th position. You can do that you can literally do that easily in one race if you get those maximum 20 points and then have a great finish. So, like you said, stage points can really make up the points quickly. And that'll be something you'll have to watch tonight is look at this all back here. You got Kevin Giadricic back here too. Number 9 machine up there in 14th. He worked his way up from 21st. You got Matthew Rush also in that 3rd position in points, 22 up. He's back here in the 15th position.
Yeah, and I've been watching Kevin just slowly make his way through the field. And up 7 positions so far in this race, only 4 laps in, coming to complete lap 5. And I think that's a good move to be a little bit aggressive, especially when you're starting in the back, because the tires really plateau. Try to gain as much as you can right now, and then settle in, and just hope guys make mistakes and you're able to make easy passes.
Michael Sheffield and Casey Kuntz battling for that 16th position there. Michael Sheffield, one of the drivers, is 7th in points, 9 up to that cut line. It'll be an important race for him again as he finished 3rd last weekend. We got GT making the pass. GT always coming through the field here after the start, and he's up to 5th now behind Zach Strittenthal. And another big factor here is the draft. It's hard to get away in these cars. It can be done. It's hard to do though, and you're gonna see guys break away in smaller packs and pull away from guys as the tires start to wear. But one thing is fun. Recently driving a race here, Brandon, is really it's kind of loose actually. You got some options. It usually this track's pretty tight. As we actually got a battle for the lead now as Curtis Preston takes the lead from Travis Everett.
Yeah, and we noticed it with SR when they ran here recently that it almost kind of flip-flopped, whereas turns 3 and 4 were traditionally the looser corners. It seemed as though 1 and 2 just was a bit more of a handful. You really had to be careful on the throttle and your wheel input coming out of 2. But these corners, they look identical. They're a little bit different, just slightly, in the way that they handle, and it opens up a lot of options for these drivers to pick where which set of corners they're good at and where they want to attack to make up time.
Wow, as Curtis Preston is put a pretty nice little gap there, taking the lead from Travis Everett and Ryan Bean there running 3rd. GT's now up to 4th. GT always making a climb up. I just noticed he's got the knack to just because he doesn't start up front, he can make that positions up and actually do a pretty good job saving the tires also. So GT looking strong as always. Seeing him climb through the field. Zach Strittenthal back to 5th now from that 2nd starting position. Remember how strong he was on the short runs at Darlington. Maybe he's got that in mind tonight. Hey, I was super strong on the short runs. I need to make my long runs better.
Yeah, that's here you definitely don't want to be super good on short runs. Their overall run with the fuel is not incredibly long, but just because they don't have a set of tires for every single pit stop they're going to need, you have to play every run like it's a long run. unless you get, 15, maybe 10 to go at the end and there's a caution, then you can think, all right, now I need to figure out the short run. Other than that, it's pacing and patience the whole race.
Yes, sir. As we have completed 7 laps here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Curtis Preston leads us at the moment. Remember, he comes in tonight 12th. If he was to win here tonight, that's going to push some other people out. So that that's the thing you see with these knockout style, elimination style playoffs. A guy that is sitting out pretty bad in points, and you think you're safe in points. Well, if that guy wins, guess what? He's bursted your bubble.
We talked a bunch about Curtis, the points that he needed to make and the opportunity to gain a lot of stage points to help with his deficit. And, even if he comes out today and doesn't win the race, obviously, if he does, then it doesn't matter what he's at for points because he's automatically advancing. But he doesn't need to get that whole deficit back today. He just needs to get solid points and make that climb that he has to do for the very next race, which will be the last race before they eliminate the next 4 drivers. Just make it easier. You don't have to get everything today.
Gotta make it easier. Gotta make it easier. As we're looking back at Matt Upbrook here, and that number 16th running in the 8th position. Look, he's got Bob Fitzpatrick behind him, who was our points. That's one of the big stories, I think. Bob Fitzpatrick, our points leader coming into the playoffs, gets knocked out in the round before, and just something you probably didn't see happening. So that just shows you're never safe in these playoff formats like this. Just because you had a great season, you got to continue to perform. I mean, we've seen it in real life NASCAR with Kevin Harvick. 9 wins in a season. But you have one bad round here, it could be no championship chance for you.
Well, Zach, speaking of bad rounds, just going back through the field, I heard a little bit about it earlier, about some contact and no caution because of it. But Andrew Little is sitting on pit road right now with no nose, no hood. He has found a lot of contact.
The 68, yes, sir. He is on pit road to Andrew Little. Major damage on that 68 as he's still sitting there getting repairs. That's going to be up to, I believe, that's at least a 30-40 minute repair there for how bad that car looks. Probably terminal engine damage there. And he coming tonight 9th in points, exactly on the cut line, tied with Matt Upbrook. That puts him almost in, I don't want to say a must-win position, but he's going to be in a very tough spot, not getting no stage points tonight. Especially with a lot of these playoff guys up here in the top 10 positions.
Well, Zach, looking back, I went back to find the incident, and it looked like lap 6, coming out of turn 2, he just made a move on Adam Buzzio, and Buzzio just got a little bit loose and came down and made contact and sent that 68 machine into the inside wall, and unfortunately a very quick end, it looks like, to the race for them.
Always unfortunate to see a quick ending to the race for a playoff driver, but that's the name of the game here in racing. You never know what's going to happen. As we look back at the 13th position, here is Kevin Ruff. Look at him. Ahead of him is Craig A. Burns, last week's winner at Darlington, lurking in that 12th position, kind of where he was at the start of the Darlington race. So don't ever count Craig out. We know how Craig is. He shows up in the most crucial moments, and wouldn't be surprised to see Craig up there in the front of the field at some point.
Yeah, it's exactly right. He doesn't have to go out here and run super quick laps and, get to the front like he was at Darlington and just kind of dominate the race. And especially because of how difficult it is to pass. Looking at him, he's a little bit back from the group ahead of him. The draft he's barely got it. So he's kind of struggling right now just to even make the pace that a lot of these guys ahead of him are making. But pit cycles change a lot of things, and you can gain a lot of spots just by having a better pit stop.
And Matthew Rush making the pass there to move himself up past Brock Potter there up until 14th. That's going to be good for him. Also, Michael Sheffield trying to follow in suit there in that 5 machine. Yes, he does get past Brock Potter, move himself up into the top 15. That's good for those 2 playoff drivers. Definitely needing another good run here tonight to be able to push themselves up farther in the standings and build that points gap. And one thing I'm seeing, Brandon, is really, if you look at the top, I'd say 6 or 7 cars, Um, these guys are really hitting their marks. They're putting that left side tire below that white line, not getting on the curb, but they're putting you got to have your tire below that white line and on that groove. I've seen a few guys definitely be up almost in the second or third lane, and that right there will kill your tires. They will just completely be destroyed. And you see you're right with Craig A. Burns. Let's see what type of line he takes here. 1 and 2, and you'll see the white line here as they go in entry. You see Bob Fitzpatrick get his tire to that white line. Craig didn't get all the way there, but wasn't too high. If you're up a couple more a couple feet higher, as you see Bob definitely up the racetrack. Not what you want to see. Look at the run that Craig gets by just getting lower. That's where the grip is here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
And turns 2 and 4 are really the corners that you want to nail. Between 1 and 3, it's a little short shoot. You don't want to completely miss the corner, but you can afford to give up a little bit of time. These straightaways are so long off of 2 and 4 that if you just slightly miss 3 and 4, as we see Bob Fitzpatrick just a little bit wide again. Up that high, if you can't de-wedge it with the apron getting your left sides just below that white line. Having to check up for that wall is killer for lap times. You will lose so much, just tenths having to lift compared to the other guys that nail the corner perfectly. And as you mentioned, these front guys are just doing that very, very well. They're not fighting too hard with each other, just clicking off laps, just seeing how the race unfolds.
The turn 2 and turn 4 are definitely the most critical corners here. Like you said, it leads to the longest straightaway almost in NASCAR. I mean, I think the Pocono front straightaway is a little bit longer, but man, this straightaway here at Indianapolis is so long. That's how you set up a path. Is coming out of 4. 1 and 3 are definitely difficult corners. You're entering at a higher speed, but the turn 2 and turn 4 are definitely awkward corners. You're coming through that short shoot, you got less speed on entry, but it's almost like you can carry more speed on entry because you have less speed, but then you can easily overdrive it too. As looking for the back bumper of Bob Fitzpatrick here with Craig Burns, this has been a pretty good battle for that 11th position.
Well, and it's kind of counterintuitive with turns 2 and 4, because you would figure that the higher speeds that you'd take into 3 and 1, the car would have a little less grip, a lot easier to overdrive it. But 1 and 3 have a lot of grip on entry, and it seems like the window for nailing the corner perfectly in 2 and 4, it's so small. If you miss it a little, you miss it a ton. The car just tightens up so much if you just miss your mark for entry by a little bit.
Now we're looking up front here, and there's Travis Everett running in 3rd position now as GT in that number 14 machine. He has made his way from 4th all the way to 2nd now from when the last time we've checked in on these top runners. So he is starting to make his move up to the front, and that number 14 looking very, very strong.
Looking at the lap times, they're pretty even amongst the first 3, all running in the 53.2 second margin. Ryan Bean running 53.3 in 4th place. And as we're running around here, we're closing in on that first pit stop they're going to be needing to make. I believe the window was 22 to 25 laps, so very shortly we'll see some guys that are opting to come in. I wonder if we'll see anybody come in just a little bit before that.
Yeah, definitely. With that lap 40 stage coming up soon, you're going to see these guys really be in position to get these pit stops done.
Well, the big question, Zach, is going to be if, do you take tires during this first pit stop? When do you decide that you take those very crucial sets, that very first one? When do you do it? Do you wait this first one and potentially gain the stage points, or do you say, no, I'm not taking it now, I'm gonna probably give up stage points and take it during that stage caution?
I think you can't take tires. I think even if you want stage points, you just need to be good at saving the tires, as we look here on with Zach Schrittenthal running in the 7th position. Not to say Zach is falling back again, struggling here. Maybe he's saving something for that second attack here, but seems like Zach's definitely struggling here again on the long run this week. Not able to, qualifies very well, looks very, very strong, but just not able to keep as much long run speed up with the guys he qualifies with. So Oh, and you
Ooh,
can see
Justin
Justin
Stallings.
Stallings. Oh man, that was a heavy hit, and he's on the apron right around us. We look like a Harold Walker's now making the move on the 31 of I believe that's Casey. Yeah, Casey Coots. So nice little race in here. But yeah, like you said, I think you can't not take tires. I mean you can't take tires. You're just then you'd have 2 sets for the rest of the race. That is just, I would say, almost unacceptable
I
because
completely agree.
you're looking at 120 laps on 2 sets. That means you're going to go up to 60 laps on tires. That is asking too much, I think, of the Goodyear tire here. Normally a full run here would be in the 40s. So, with a full fuel load. So I think anywhere from 50, you would definitely want to do more than 50. I'd say 50 laps here on the set tires.
Yeah, I completely agree. I would I'd have to wait until the end of the stage to really take tires. My philosophy now, especially with these the tire limits, try to have the freshest tires at the end of the race. You're gonna give up time early on doing it, but it's so beneficial if you can be one of the handful of guys at the end of a race that has maybe a set left, or just even 20 laps fresher tires. It makes a world of difference. As we've had a handful of people pit here, it looks like everybody just opted for fuel only. Scott Taylor with the longest pit stop back on lap 18 with a 10.5 second pit stop. Leaders still trucking on. Should be closing into that window in the next 5 laps, Zach.
Yeah, closing in on that window for sure. As you look back here, Robert Nestor and that 8 machine battling here. A few guys back here is Harold Watkins, Tony Ludi, all these gentlemen racing nice and hard back here around the 20th position. It's definitely heating up, but I tell you who's not cooling off is Curtis Preston. He's coming out here and shooting his shot tonight, Brandon. He is the quickest man on the racetrack, and he's continuing to build that gap of the guys behind him.
Yeah, and we talked about how hard it is to pull out a gap, but when you can just consistently run a tenth quicker, even with the draft towing those guys around behind you, I mean, he's doing it perfectly. He's just running flawless, consistent laps.
And the biggest thing I allude to really with him is I've just noticed his line is picture perfect. He is. I've been watching him for a while now. He has not missed the apex of the corner one time. Like his left front tire has met that white line every single lap, and the guys behind him are starting to not get there every lap. They're starting to be that couple feet off that white line, and that's where you're going to see the lap time go away. And I tell you what, Curtis Preston, he's coming out here looking to have that home run as he's pulling another 2/10 on GT there. And GT's even starting to get a little bit of a gap build between him and Travis Everett. His pit stops are going crazy right now with people hitting pit road.
Yep, we've had Travis Everett calling out. He's pitting this time by, but we had Kevin Ruff, Craig A. Burns, Kevin Jadrosich, Michael Sheffield, Matt Upbrook, Matthew Rush. A lot of people pitting. Casey Kuntz, I did notice as he was pulling off a pit road, he has a lot of right front damage. I'm not sure where that came from, but not really something you want to see this early in the race.
Yeah, right front damage is something you do not want to see. As our leaders are pitting now, hitting pit road. As we look here at Nolan Potter in that 6th position. Looks like he's going to hit pit road also in that 34. Whoa, Ryan Beam. He had almost catastrophic moment there with the outside wall. I don't know if he's even. He may even have a pit road penalty the way he entered pit road there.
That will be a pit road penalty, Zach. That will be a commitment line penalty.
And it looks like Nathan Campbell is going to stay out here with Zach Schrittenthal also. So those two gentlemen will continue on. As we look back here at Harold Watkins in the 5th position now, he's got Robert Nestor there, right there with him. This track's spreading out all over now, man. It's getting wild with these guys, and the longer this goes green, the more spread out it's going to get, and I think that just is going to tend to go even green farther.
Yeah, and once everything gets super spread out, when you've only got 4 cars maybe in a pack, everybody evens out because nobody's getting really towed around. And it's just trying to cycle out ahead of the other pack. It's almost like the approach that you'd take to, say, Talladega or Daytona, where you just try to pit a little bit off sequence and gain that extra time to where you've only got to worry about the pack you're racing with and not the field as a whole.
Definitely put yourself in a hole. It's hard to dig yourself out of something. If the race goes green, especially. So we're gonna have to see how it all shakes out as we look back here. Adam Buzzio in the 55 running in that 25th position as the laps or the positions are all shaking out with this. But I'm trying to look back here and see what really drivers having the most issues as a playoff guy. I mean, you got Randy Cornwell in the 26th position. Um, Scott Taylor running 28th. Matt Upbrook 33rd. It's this is not a race you definitely want to have too many issues at. But the thing is, we're going to have that stage caution at 40. You just got to buckle down and get to that lap, and then we'll see how it goes from there for them.
Unfortunately, Zach, if you go a lap down here, it kind of sets the tone for the rest of your race, because you don't want to take the wave around for this stage break. You want to be able to take tires with everybody else that is assuredly going to take tires. There's a handful of guys that have longer pit stops, in the 11-second plus, that have taken tires, like where was it? Where did I see that? Bob Fitzpatrick with 11 seconds, Kevin Ruff 13 seconds, Brock Potter 12.9. It looks like these guys are opting to take tires. So you may actually have guys that might not even pit, so you might just get trapped a lap down. And real quick, going back to Ryan Bean, he had a 51-second pit stop, so he absolutely had a pit road entry penalty from that stop.
Yes, he did, and that's going to shove him way back for that 25, all the way to the 31st position, and he's only going to be, not only a couple seconds ahead of leader Curtis Preston.
Well, the good news is he's only got about 14 laps to just hold them off and stay on the lead lap and cycle back around with this stage caution. But leaders, back to the leaders. Curtis Preston back to the lead, a little bit slower right now than Travis Everett is. I say that Everett gets around him. Maybe Everett decided to take 2 tires. He had an 11.9 second pit stop, and his lap times are 2 seconds quicker.
Yeah, he took 2. He's going for the stage win.
You can gain a lot of time on taking tires when guys don't. But with the stage cautions, there's no real reason to gain that gap, because it all gets reset. So you're just essentially wasting a set of tires. Alluding back to the last race that I believe you guys broadcasted for SRU with Indy, you saw guys that took tires on an early caution and then guys that didn't. And those guys that took tires because they didn't have the stage break, they pretty much checked out for the rest of the race. So you can do it, but with the stages, if you're going to do it, you got to do it after that last stage break.
Well, that's some interesting strategy here we're seeing, and that's what we were talking about before the race started. Strategy, and Travis Everett has decided to go with a pretty bold strategy here. Like I said, it's pretty bold from you, Travis.
Bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, that's exactly a good way to put it. And looking back here, trying to see lap time wise, looks like Daniel Gonzalez maybe also took tires in the 99 because he's running 51. So looks like. Pretty sure that was the only 2 to take tires there.
And that tells me that those 2 are in trouble. If a lot of other people decided to take tires as well, and you guys, you're kind of cycled around with other guys that are on your same strategy, it's not too bad. But if it's only 2 people, you're just going to get passed by the whole field when they decide to take tires
Yep.
and you can't.
You literally, yeah, you literally stole exactly what I was gonna say, man. These guys are going to just be freight trained. I mean, when the stage comes, these other guys are going to take tires. They're not going to be able to take tires. They're going to the back. It's a bold strategy. I mean, for Travis Everett especially, get them 10 bonus points. That will get him pretty good. But the thing is, he could possibly get no stage points in that second stage, where he could have gotten second place, maybe third, second place points, in both stages if he'd have done his regular strategy, where that would be more than just 10 points. So it's
And
definitely an interesting.
I completely agree with you, Zach. It's good. You're going out and you're going to get this 10 points for the stage win. But you're probably setting yourself up to lose a lot more points for positions in the race than you're going to gain by winning the stage. It's not worth it to me. Maybe you know something I don't. Maybe this is absolutely brilliant. But from my experiences that I have, this is just probably not going to work out very well.
Yeah, and his lap times have already dropped off the cliff with those right side tires. He's already running 53.0 to Curtis Preston's 53.1. If he doesn't win this stage, that's not going to be good either. It seems like the lap time is going away from him. And the thing is, yeah, he can put left side tires on for Travis Everett. Left side tires are going to help for a couple laps, but your right side tires are everything in these cup cars. They're what takes the brunt of the force. And if you don't have right side tires, you put just lefts on it, you're going to be struggling still.
Yeah, left sides here, it just seems to be the same effect as if you took no tires. Two tires only works if you have to run a short distance. As we've seen, the times have already pretty much evened out, and even that last time, Travis ran, 4/10 slower than Curtis Preston. So unless he's severely backing
it up, yeah.
I don't know. That'd be my thought. I think he would have to be just trying to save, and stretch that set as far as he can and still have some kind of stage break.
Yeah, why pull away when you know the stage is coming at 40 and you know you're going to be hurt on tires, at that point. That is definitely something I could see, him doing, saying, all right, I don't need to pull away. I need to be in a way better position than I am as we're watching the battle back here for the 18th position. But it's definitely it's definitely a lot of strategy being played out, as he picked up the lap time there 6/10. So I believe he definitely is trying to just manage that gap. We'll see how it all shakes out. But the thing is, still, when he gets tires, those right sides are going to be severely hurt.
Yeah, I mean, even if he saves, maybe he'll have a little bit more speed than he would have after this stage caution, but it's still going to be nowhere near what the rest of these guys are running. As we saw when Travis and Daniel, when they came out on fresh tires, they were running 51 seconds compared to everybody else's 53s. So they're just going to get freight trained, and they got to hope nobody runs them over. That's going to be the key thing, I think, to watch for this restart after the stage.
Travis Everett now coming up on lap traffic here. You see him coming up on Dustin Stallings. Dustin Stallings going to let him by here, as I believe that's Ryan Ezel directly ahead of him too. So I tell you what, if he wins the stage, we'll hear from him. So
yeah, if I've got some questions I'd like to ask the man if he does pull this off for sure.
I wonder how worried he's going to be when they go through those two left sides. Unless he takes 4 there, and then he takes left sides on the next. But then you only have one set. To make it, that last final 65 laps after your lap 80.
I like the idea.
Yeah, it's definitely, he's doing something here. He's making, he's putting it in the ball court where he says, you know what, I'm going to try something. Because I tell you what, Curtis is just, his pace is out of this world. He's 9.9 seconds ahead of GT, 14.7 seconds ahead of Nolan. It's a big gap from the guys back from Curtis.
And, I say I like the idea with the 2 tires stop, and I get where he's coming from. Travis Everett trying to gain as much time as you can early in the race. Put those tires to good use. But again, with the stage cautions where it just resets everybody, that doesn't work. And I think it's a bit of a short-sighted goal, in my opinion, to worry about stage points and put your overall finish for the race at risk. And back to Curtis Preston and his pace. He's been consistently 1/10 to 2/10 quicker than GT or Zari in 3rd place. GT with a little bit longer of a pit stop, and I don't know if maybe he took right sides too, but if he did, he really paced himself because he was running pretty consistent lap times with everybody else.
The fall off is just so great that it's just wild to watch all this unfolding before our eyes as Nathan Campbell and Kevin Giadricic are coming up on Nolan Potter in 4th position. So you're starting to see that battle start to pop off. It looks like Nathan Campbell actually going to the inside. So Nathan Campbell looking pretty strong. Started in 5th, but I tell you who's looking even better is Kevin Giadricic. He started in 21st. He's drove himself up to the 5th position now. So very strong laps for Kevin Giadricic. Looking for possibly a podium if once this all gets under stage caution here in the next 4 laps.
Well, he's got a pretty big gap. Looks like past Nathan Campbell for the 5th position. Doubt he's going to make any more ground unless something happens to one of those guys. But to come from that far back in the field here, where traditionally when the tires were in, it's super difficult to pass. Either everybody's being really, really patient and just letting guys go and not really fighting too hard, or he's got some serious speed.
Definitely looks strong. I mean, that's definitely something I've seen. There's look even making the pass, possibly on the outside here of the 50, the 52. So down the straightaway here, they're side by side going down into 3. We're gonna be coming this time as Travis is crossing the line here. It's gonna be 3 to go on the stage. Look at this battle for 4th though, as Kevin Giadricic, I believe, is going to clear. Yes, he is up to 4th. Now, what a run for him, 21st to 4th. When this all gets reset, Brandon, we're going to have to watch that number 9.
Yeah, especially because I believe he's going to be moving up to, for all intents and purposes, 3rd place. And fresh tires, it's going to be where Travis restarts, I believe, in relation to him, as to whether or not he's going to have to lift a bunch and maybe lose a lot of positions. But I cannot wait to see how strong he is with these guys that have been up here leading when everything equals out.
It's in the times. The times are even like, Curtis' time is still 53-54. Really well, 54-45 last time for Kevin, and he's even got Nathan coming back to the inside. And these are some impressive times, especially because you're looking at GT running 53-77. So Kevin Giadricic might have something for Curtis Preston once we get all this started. I mean, he had to come from 21st. So he definitely used some tire during this run.
Well, he probably did. I don't know if anybody is going to be able to do a better job of making that many passes and still having that much speed. It's so easy to burn up the tires here, and it's quite an achievement. I'd consider, if I was him, I won this stage anyway. I'm gonna come across probably 4th. That's a win for me. It's something you rarely see.
Well, we got our Sheffield Graphics white flag for stage number 1. And look at this, a 0.3 of a second lead here. And Travis Everett made a big wiggle coming off of 4. I tell you what, that just shows you the strength of Curtis Preston yet to take tires in this race. And you had Travis take right sides, and Curtis is putting the pressure on. Can Travis pull that gap away? We'll have to see as they go down the back straightaway for the final time in stage number 1 here tonight. Man, oh man, can he get that stage win and give him the 10 bonus points? But it puts him in a weird position here, already taking 2 tires.
Well, Preston is right there. If he makes just a little mistake through this set of corners, he's got a chance to pounce.
So here comes the lap traffic in front of him. Looks like lap traffic not going to be too big of an issue here as they come to the stage 1 checkered flag. And there it is, your winner in stage number 1, Travis Everett, your pole setter. So we'll have to see what his thoughts are after they get all the pit stops done. But congrats to Travis Everett on the stage 1 win. Curtis Preston second, GT Irizarry third, Kevin G. Anderson fourth, Nathan Campbell fifth, Nolan Potter sixth, Zach Schrittenthrall seventh, Greg A. Burns at eighth, Daniel Gonzalez ninth, and Michael Sheffield in 10th. So a bunch of playoff guys getting some critical playoff points here to give themselves, or sorry, not playoff points, bonus points there to help them as they go through these playoffs here in the round of 12.
Well, Zach, while these guys are rolling around to catch the pace car here and get their pit stops underway, I want to point out that the 25 was only 3 cars ahead of Travis Everett when the caution came out after that pit road penalty. And also, during that stop, or during that run, towards the end, our winner in the ARCA series, David Hall, a bit of a problem, some kind of incident, and he has heavy damage in pit road, now sitting 3 laps down.
Oh, wow. And I believe that was David Edwards.
Was it David Edwards?
Yeah, it was David Edwards. But
my apologies.
But yes, David Hall is on pit road with some damage. Yeah, like you said, good job pointing that out. But yeah, Ryan Beed, after that penalty, able to stay on the lead lap. That was critical for him.
Hopefully that's my only mistake this race. There's so much going on.
Very, very easy to do, man. We got a lot of cars, a lot of names, a lot of fantastic stuff going on. We thank everybody out there for tuning in, and tell us how you thought stage 1 went out there in the chat. And let us know. Give us those reactions, because man, it has been fun to watch here for us up in the booth. Stage 1 in the books, and we've already got some crazy strategy being already played out here as these guys are going to head back to pit road and get them. We'll have to see who doesn't take tires. Who decides not to take tires here, Brandon?
I feel like Travis Everett can't. I think everybody else will.
Right.
My game plan would have been to wait until the stage to take tires, just kind of split the race up into, about nearly 3 equal parts before you, take your tires. You take them here, then the next stage, and then 1 stop during the final stage. And I just feel like Travis Everett's kind of a sitting duck here, but after his pit stop, we'll get to talk in with him and see how he's feeling about that bold move for the stage win.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that 59 gets jacked up here, and there he goes on left sides only. Yes, that left side goes up first, so left sides only for that 59. And he'll pull that thing off of pit road. And, we got another car here. I believe that is the 17 of Kevin Zabladil, who is a lap down, so he will not be in the second position. But Curtis Preston makes it off second off pit road. GT Irizarry third. Zach Schrittenthrall fourth. So great stuff we've seen here through stage 1. Travis Everett is your stage 1 winner, and we will get a talk in here with him now as he's come off pit road. So here is Travis Everett, your stage 1 winner.
Hey, Travis, it's Brandon. You got a copy?
Yeah, we got you.
Well, man, bold strategy taking 2 tires during that pit stop. Been questioning it, trying to figure out what your game plan is here. See you take lefts this stop. Now, I'm sure you probably realize you're going to be a bit slower. What is your game plan going forward here? How are you going to, try to play this to your advantage for later in the race?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. The first stop there, that was definitely mental error on my part. Definitely didn't mean to take any and forgot to uncheck the right side. So, we're going to be a bit slower and just trying to stay out of the way and stay up as far as we can here.
Well, yeah, I know that's a mistake that I've made. I'm forgetting to uncheck the tires since they've implemented these limits, but hopefully it doesn't hurt you too bad and you're able to rebound pretty well from it. We've seen a few guys make some pit road penalties and things like that and been able to rebound from it and not have too much trouble. So looking forward to see how you can recover from this, and hopefully we can talk to you at the end of the second stage and see if you've rebounded nicely.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out, and hopefully I'll talk to y'all again tonight.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was Travis Everett. Yeah, and you see, just a little mental mistake there. Easy to do. Easy to do. Like you said, Brandon, you've done it. I've done it. Everybody's done it. I feel like since Thailand has come in.
Oh
And
man.
when you do it, you're like, oof, that's not good. Pretty much sets me back the rest of the race. So we'll see how that all shakes out for Travis Everett here. As we have ended stage 1 now, going us towards stage 2. I'm as nervous for him as he is probably nervous, because this is an important race for him. He had a nice point lead coming in, and if the biggest thing I worry about is him is getting ran over and wrecked.
That would
So-
be my biggest concern as well.
He's gonna be very slow.
I've had this same situation where I stayed out to try to lead a lap, not realizing the shorter caution laps that they have at these bigger tracks, and got stuck in the lead with old tires. I believe you started right behind me in that race.
Yeah.
And it's very scary. You're just like, please, guys, please make it around me. I'm going to do everything I can to stay out of the way. Just please don't hit me.
Best thing you can do is just hold your line, let him go around. But we'll have to see here as you're going to kick off stage 2. Another critical stage here at the RSR Cup Series. Pace car is in. And I tell you what, that green flag is about to fly. There is green flag in the air. Travis Everett leading us down, and see what he can do on these older tires. Here's GT starting up in the 3rd position now. See what he can do as we go down the turn 1.
Really surprised, Travis Everett. He held a good bit of speed through through turn 1, and looks to be doing the same in turn 2. I thought for sure that Curtis was going to be able to get by pretty easily in 1. Oh, and they're splitting him now. Oh boy.
Whew. Travis Everett in the sucker hole. You can see Zach Schrittenthal there. GT split him, and now going through 3 and 4. Or turn 3, sorry, no 3 and 4 here. But down into 4 now. You got Nathan Campbell on the outside. He's doing a good job of holding on, at least with decent speed to the left sides. Are definitely helping, but it's going to be a pretty long run here for him till they get to pit road.
Yeah, I think, he's got maybe 5 or 6 laps before everything kind of evens out, and he's not going to be at such a disadvantage. But these laps are so long that 5 or 6 laps is an eternity. He's going to lose a lot of spots in that time.
And another guy we were talking about, Kevin Giadricic, in that 9, he elected not to take tires during that stop. Yeah, so he is still on the same set of tires he started this race. Now, the interesting thing here that puts in is he can put tires on either in the between part of the stage or make it all the way to 80. If he can make the tires last to 80, which is asking a lot. If he can make them last, he'll have 3 sets for the final stage, and he'll be able to, once he gets all reset, he will. That is a race-winning strategy right there, because it gives you that chance, because we got 65 laps. Think about this: 65 laps, you cannot make a 1-stop. You're going to have to stop twice. If he can have 2 sets going into that final stage, he can take the set each time. And he's getting bumped right now. Oh, Holder Kevin, he did a good job. As Dustin Stallings coming by. It's a little boop there on the back of the 9. But I'm telling you, if he can stay on the lead lap, that's going to be what he's going to hope to do here. And
That is
I don't know,
exactly
80 laps, man. If you can do 80 laps, you're doing something here, Indy.
I like the strategy. But it only works under one condition, and you have to hope that condition is met. Otherwise, it is just disastrous, because he's running 53-second laps, whereas we've had Nathan Campbell 2 laps ago ran the fastest lap of the race with a 50.59. These guys up front are so much faster, but it takes so long for it to even out. And right now he's even running slower than they were at the end of that run before they pit for tires for the stage break. It may have been due to the contact he had, slowed him up just a little bit, but if he can somehow not fall a lap down, and I'm hearing him come over the radio now talking about his right rear being incredibly, or his right front being incredibly worn after that pit stop, and he is struggling a lot. He is he's not very happy with the way this car's handling.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like I said, I knew coming into this race, this Curtis Preston actually gets back to the lead around GT, as GT did take the lead for a few moments. I knew coming into this race, looking at the set of tires we had here, you were going to have guys that tried something different, but I'm worried about him actually, blowing that tire out. He's on 49 laps here on those set of tires, and a full fuel run here in Indy normally is only in the 40s. First of all, so he's just really pushing the tires to the extreme limit. I don't see the tires lasting very much longer.
I have to agree with that. I think he's gonna want to take tires when they have to pit during this this stage. I don't think he can make it the next one, and I think if he waits that long, he's absolutely gonna fall a lap down, which means he's gonna have to either pit and stay a lap down, or take the wave around and still be on those old tires.
The big thing he could do here is he could take a set once he knows he can make it on fuel to the end of the stage, which will be at about 65. Lap 65. So he needs to get another 15 laps. Lap 65, he could pit, come down, put a set of 4 on there, and he'll pull away from the leaders because those guys are going to be staying off, not on the cycle they are, where they're going to take tires at the end of the stage, and then that'll put him back even with tires. So he still has a light at the end of the tunnel, but he does have to make 15 more laps around this Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And like you said, Brandon, 5 laps here's the eternity. 15 laps is that's forever. I mean, you literally are just going to be riding around those tires just screaming at you as he's running 54.31s. Yeah, so the time are very, very slow. And the thing is, he's 20 seconds behind now. And when a tire starts to get ready to let go, you're going to see him start to hit the 55s and 56s before that tire lets go.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he said his right front was down in the 20 percentile range.
Oh, well,
he might come close to blowing that tire if he's not extremely careful.
That tire is going to be gone here in the next. I don't think he'll make 15 laps. I really don't think he'll make it far enough to make it on fuel. Yeah, this puts him in a very sticky situation as we look up here at the top 3 here. Zach Schrittenthal on that 2 car having another good run here again tonight. But it's, Kevin's not in the playoffs. He had something to try, but it's definitely, I don't think, going to work out for him.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the biggest thing. You don't have anything to lose, so go for it. Throw the kitchen sink at it. Throw everything at the wall. Hope something sticks. And there's a good chance maybe he'll learn something for the next time they have to run here and say, okay, that wasn't a good idea. The thing I did last race, not going to do that this time. and maybe he'll have somebody else that's not paying attention do that, and he can capitalize on it. So why not?
I'm just hoping he doesn't stick it in the wall. That's the big thing. That tire blows out here, Indy. It's a flat track. You go straight. Here's you look at Nathan Campbell now, trying to get to the inside of Zach Schrittenfeld down in the 1. He will almost complete the pass side by side. Nice hard racing here between these two as Nathan Campbell slides up into that 3rd position there with Zach Schrittenfeld back to 4th with Nolan Potter in tow behind Ryan Bean. Look at Ryan Bean up to 6 already, Brandon.
These guys are getting a lot of speed out of these cars on the fresh tires, and I'm surprised that the fall off isn't quicker. In my experience here, the tires just give up so quick. You've got just a handful of good laps, and then you're just kind of stuck riding. But these guys have been able to make a lot of passes late in the runs and just show an incredible amount of speed.
And, the speed that Ryan Bean has had is pretty impressive. I mean, you think about where he's come from now, pretty far back, had the penalty, had to take that, stayed on the lead lap, finished that stage in 25th, now already back up to the 6th position here on lap 54. That's pretty darn impressive as he gets to the inside of Nolan Potter here, going down the back straightaway. And up front, GT and Curtis, the teammates at Slide Job Racing, those two are working together flawlessly here. They're putting in great laps and able to work together and pull away from this field. And I tell you what, Curtis Preston is going to be a tough one to beat. He's just been all out, just perfect tonight, personally, from that 29.
Well, you mentioned Curtis and GT working very well together. That reminded me of something that I noticed between your teammate Cedric Hunter and Brandon Hartwell when we ran here. Talking with Cedric during the race, he commented on how he and Hartwell were able to just hook up nose to tail and almost, bump draft around the track and make up a lot of time. Haven't really seen anybody doing that, but they pulled out a pretty sizable gap over Nathan Campbell in 3rd place.
Yeah, it's a viable strategy here to if you can get someone that is on your pace level, you can definitely hook up with them and make up some enormous amount of time, because these cars with the 550 horsepower, this long track like this, you can really draft. And if you got 2 cars together, that's way faster than one. My only thought is Curtis Preston is just his longer pace is really, really good. It's gonna be hard for GT to, GT's definitely got the the first 30 laps, I'd say, within the Preston's pace. But Curtis is just so strong once they make that stop and put that new set, that fuel in. He was just running lap times 2 to 3 tenths quicker than anybody. And it's gonna be tough to keep up, but I think GT didn't have to drive also from 9th all the way up to that top 3. So that's gonna make it a lot easier on GT. He didn't have to make the passes he made. But the biggest thing I can still compliment Curtis on is he still has not missed the bottom one time. His left front tire has touched that white line every single lap, every single corner, and that's how you get around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as good as he is.
Yeah, and some guys just have tracks completely figured out, and Curtis he just knows this place, it seems. If he's never run a race here before, if he's only ever run a handful, I'd be very surprised, because he's running it like, he runs this every week.
Yeah, the only thing I can think about that is just the practice time he's probably put in here. He's definitely had to put some laps in. He's hitting the perfect line. Every single time to put your left side tire down on that white line is not easy to do. It's very easy just to overstep that and just go a little bit too deep and wash up the track and lose all that grip. But he hasn't even made one of those mistakes yet. Really haven't even seen him get rid of that sideways yet. So your 29 here is looking pretty darn strong here as we get by to complete lap number 57 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And it's getting wild. I mean, we haven't even got to halfway yet. This is going to be a grueling race. These guys are going to be tired after this race. So it's sim racing. Yeah, you're sitting there, on a computer playing the game, but I can tell you what, it is very grueling. You can get a workout from it. Your heart rate is very high during the whole thing because your adrenaline's pumping. It really can be very tiring, and I know people who have heart rate monitors during this stuff that get max heart rates of up to 160 beats per minute in this. And that's amazing. That's like you're out there running around, out there for a jog or something. Like you're literally, working out to like your max heart rate almost, and that can happen in these races. So it's a workout, man. Especially a 362 miles. That's almost a full Brickyard 400 distance. I've done the full Brickyard 400 here, and it's not easy to do. It definitely takes a toll on you.
Well, before I make any comments on that, I want to point out that Michael Sheffield is in the pits. Not sure if he has any damage or if this is just his scheduled pit stop. I think we've got. No, it was a little bobble coming out. But freaky fast lesson for today is if you want to work on your cardio, invest in iRacing, because it'll definitely get your heart pumping. And man, I've had races where I've finished the race in my right shoulder just from how hard I'm gripping the wheel and the force feedback and everything. It's so sore, and You know, it's just a sim. You're just sitting in your chair, but it is a bit of a workout. It's not just, you know, hopping in and turning laps and turning a wheel to the left. There's a whole lot more to it than that.
You couldn't have said it better, really. There's so many races where, you know, I'm literally just worn out from driving like my shoulders are, and I've even woke up the next day after doing 250-mile races and just completely ached in my right shoulder
Yep.
just from gripping the wheel so hard, and especially when it's a little bit loose like this, you got to be on your P's and Q's, so you grip the wheel just a little bit harder usually when the car's a little bit looser. And that definitely, I can definitely attest to that because we drove the old Cup cars at Homestead after
Oof.
133 laps of that. My right wrist was broken, but it was a blast. So it's something cool to see. But I think pit stops, getting off that subject, but I think pit stops are going to be happening very soon, Brandon. I mean, we've seen Michael Sheffield come down. He went a lap down, but he's going to get that lap back as these guys pit. But yeah, I think pit stops very, very soon in the future for a lot of these guys.
Ooh,
I'm
got
surprised
somebody in the fence.
Ooh, who was that? Ooh, the 75.
Michael Martino
Oh man,
keeps it going. No caution.
I'm surprised Kevin Giadrich. Oh, he's coming down pit
He's
road
coming
this
in
time.
now.
Yeah, let's say I was surprised he has not come down this time. He has to take tires. There's no way that number 9 makes it back without taking tires to the end of the
Well,
stage.
Randy Cornwell, I don't know if he took tires. I have to look at his pit time here, but he is currently getting passed by the leader, Curtis Preston, and then here comes GT Irizarry. Randy did not take tires, so he's just fill her up and go back out there. So he's going to be hoping that these guys pit pretty soon. So if there is a caution, he's not going to get trapped a lot down right now. He is the lucky dog, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but still, you'd prefer to be on the lead lap.
Always prefer, that's for sure. As these guys are coming around to. Oh man, I'm sorry. I just got called out, but it wasn't the word. He said I said something that I usually say, but I didn't. So it was close. Okay, my producer is giving me yeah. We're having intellectual battles right now here, but it's definitely wild to see how this is all going on here. It's just the strategies are all over the place, and that's going to be the key to how all this works out. As GT is definitely starting to fall back from Curtis now too.
We have the 25 coming in. He's calling that he's going to pit. I want to point out that Kevin Jadricic, after his pit stop, he is one lap down, and the leaders are only about a straightaway behind him.
And also he's going to have the tires. He's going to have tires here. So he should be able to pull away, and he should be able to get back to, on the lead lap once these guys pit. That should definitely be happening. So luckily he did keep it on the lead lap and was able to stretch it there. But I don't know. And at the same time, Brandon, he could not take tires during this next stage because it was only like 20 laps till the next stage. So he could definitely, we see him go 60 laps with tires. Why couldn't he, stretch it again? And then he could have those final 2 sets for his final 2 stops of the race. I mean, can he make up the time that he loses? It's one of those things you gotta, question yourself.
It depends a lot on, if they finally get that first caution. We haven't seen one yet. There have been some incidents, but luckily they've stayed off the racing surface and have not brought out the yellows. We have Curtis Preston coming into pit this time by. Interesting to see what he does for tires if he just decides to take a full tank of fuel. But I like being ahead on tires, that he has the option, if he stays out for the end of the stage, that he can then take tires for every pit stop he's going to have to make. That is going to be a huge advantage if nothing unforeseen happens that maybe pins him in the back of the pack or just gets him off sequence, something where he maybe has to take a wave arounder or something like that.
Lots of questions here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Look at Travis Everett though, up to 6th, staying in 6th after taking just left sides. That's
Lap times aren't
impressive.
that far off either.
They really aren't either. I just noticed that too, Brandon. His lap times really aren't that bad. And you know, that's the thing. You do hit that plateau of time, and you got to think these guys do have that half fuel tank. So they're not going, you know, that full fuel distance. So he's able to make the tires last for sure. The distance that he needs to make. So not losing too much time. He's going to still get stage points here. So not too bad for Travis Everett in that number 59 machine. He's definitely going to be looking pretty good when it comes down to this race, though.
And I mean, I think he's still going to have to pit here, so he's going to lose a little bit of positions. But I don't know if I'd take the tires during this pit stop here.
No.
You know, especially if you're Travis Everett, where he's trying to think his way out of a box that, you know, a little mental mistake kind of put him in. But so far, he's running really good. He's up to 3rd. His lap times are comparable with Anthony Yins and Nolan Potter ahead of him. I mean, they're almost identical. The only guys that are really faster, I think, right now are the guys that are on fresh tires after their pit stop.
Pit stops are very, very critical, man. You know, it's when you do it. Do you take tires? Do I take 2? There's so much playing out here. This is one of the biggest strategy races I've seen in a long time, personally, and it's pretty cool to watch. But while we're under this, you know, pit stop sequence and stuff, why don't we give a shout out to our wonderful sponsors here at Freaky Fast and Evolution Racing.
Great idea, Zach.
Oh yes,
Perfect timing.
Always got to shout the sponsors, and you know this is a perfect time while this is going on, while the lineup is shaking up back and forth. We kind of don't know where everybody's at technically compared to each other. So let's first give a shout out to Sheffield Graphics. As always, Sheffield Graphics, they specialize in sim racing paint schemes as well as team logos and race posters. They do not charge for their work. They only ask for donations to the Folds of Honor, which you can find a link to donate to directly to the Folds of Honor charity at Sheffield Graphics Facebook page. So that's an awesome cause they got going on there, and they are based out of Chesapeake, Virginia, owned by Michael Sheffield, one of the playoff drivers here tonight. So check out Sheffield Graphics at facebook.com/Sheffield Graphics. So one of the great sponsors here at Evolution Racing Leagues and the RSR Cup Series. Also got to give a huge shout out to the primary sponsor here of the series here, the Cup Series, and that is Or Nissan Central. Or Nissan Central is the leading Nissan dealership here in Oklahoma City, or not here in Oklahoma City, but in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Go check out their website at www.ornissancentral.com and go check out their beautiful cars. So shout out to their primary sponsors here at the RSR Cup Series. Thank them very much for coming along and being able to be a part of this broadcast. We also have to shout out our sponsors here that keep the lights on at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And remember, those great sponsors are Rocket Racing Setups. Rocket Racing Setups is your one-stop shop for all your iRacing setup needs. They've been dominating the dirt since 2017, and after a short break, they have rebuilt and are ready to rocket their customers back to the front of the pack in 2020. They're producing setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, road, pro trucks, and rallycross. We currently have multiple builders working for them, doing setups, booklets, coaching lessons, and much more, and you can find them at rocketracingsetups.com. Remember, we do have a promo code for 10% off at rocketracingsetups.com, and that is DLAM09, DLAM09. So remember to use that for 10% off there for all your iRacing open setup needs at Rocket Racing Setups. Also got to give a shout out to ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car. From ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion, by moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful bass response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So shout out to the ButtKicker and their ButtKicker Gamer 2. You can go check them out at buttkicker.com. Feel what you've been missing. So shout out to all the sponsors here tonight. We appreciate you, and thank you also all to the fans out there. Go check out. Also, you can go into the description. This is one thing I need to start remembering. But you need to go check out the description. You can get you some freaky fast merch there at redbubble.com, and you can get some Evolution Racing Leagues merch there with the RSR Cup Series. Both of those are down in the description. Go check them out and see what type of merch you can get there, or your sim racing wear, and it's some pretty cool stuff. So go check that out. And thank you for everybody tuning in here tonight. We got a wonderful race here, and we're nearing halfway.
Well, Zach, after those fine sponsor reads, I've got something to report here. It looks unfortunate that GT Irizarry had a speeding penalty on his pit stop, currently a lap down in 24th position.
Oh, yikes. That's not good for GT. As it does look like he is still ahead of Curtis, so it doesn't look like he's a lap down. Looks like he's in the 24th position right now, about 47 seconds ahead. So if he can stay ahead of teammate Curtis Preston, he could rebound from this. Not going to get stage points. That will hurt. But he can rebound from this. We've seen GT rebound multiple times this season from incidences, and wouldn't be surprised to see him do it here again.
You are exactly right. That was my mistake. After I'd said that he was a lap down, the scoring corrected itself and showed him just at the tail end of the lead lap.
And that's very important for him. Definitely don't want to be going a lap down here in this race. So, it was really not even half well right now. When Curtis gets to the back straightaway, halfway down the back straightaway, we will be halfway here in the RSR Cup Series at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And that just shows you how grueling of a race this is. These guys have had one caution all night, and that's the stage caution. So, really we could possibly only see one more caution with the stage caution coming up here in 8 laps at lap 80. So, you never know. These guys could be going green all night other than the stage cautions will do.
And Curtis Preston has an almost 7.5 second lead over Nathan Campbell in second place. He has stretched it out. Wow.
He's just on it. Really can't say nothing more about Curtis Preston other than, man, he is just, it's almost, it's just so impressive, really. I can't even describe it, how impressive he has been tonight with his pace. It's kind of been out of this world. He's, like I said, hasn't made many mistakes out on that racetrack. Hit his lines perfectly. It'll be interesting to see what he says if he can come back around and win the stage here, as he's just been super strong tonight. And you got to think, that'll be 19 bonus points for him. He's 35 out coming in tonight. But he can throw all the points out the window if he comes home the winner. And I'm telling you what, he's going to be a tough one to beat. It's all done.
Yeah, looking at the race he's put on now, Zach, just so far, I don't really think anybody else has anything for him speed-wise. If you're going to beat Curtis Preston tonight, you've got to catch him out on strategy. I think that's about the only way.
Yeah, I think the only way you're going to catch him, like you said, strategy, or he makes a mistake. And I hate to say that, but it's easy to do here in Indianapolis. Like, we've just seen GT speed. Very easy to do. And I don't know, but other than that, this man has just been, he's been lighting the whole track of fire all night. It's just like he's in a different zip code almost. So as we looked here at Nathan Campbell, he's definitely been very close to that wall and very sideways with this 52. Let's watch him go around this Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He had a few moments there where it was almost code brown.
Looks like his corner's not too bad. If anything, maybe it's just a little bit early on the throttle right before you get, completely to center on the apex, and just pushing a little bit wide. Because his times are not super bad. I think he had to check out that last lap to avoid some contact with the wall, lost 0.2. But other than that, it looks like a pretty solid line, Zach.
His line definitely looks solid. He just definitely had some moments there a little bit ago. But it's easy to have those moments with the car being a little bit free. But even that car behind him, Ryan beat up to third. Remember, he had that that really bad pit stop there where he missed the whole cone in the commitment line, where he had to sit there on pit road, almost went a lap down. He's drove himself up from the 25th position in this stage all the way to third. So Ryan Bean, very, very strong looking in that 25. Remember, he won at Talladega too earlier in the playoffs.
Well, he's showing that he's pretty good at getting around these super speedway type tracks, as he's looking to chase down Nathan Campbell in second, and great rebound for him with that early penalty. He's done a very good job just not letting that get to him, and just coming back and doing everything he needed to put himself right back in contention to win this thing. Great position here in the stage. He set himself up for a nice start to this final stage where you know you're not guaranteed any more cautions. Track position's going to matter a ton. It's definitely not out of it by any means.
Definitely not out of it so far, Brandon. That's for sure. You know, this race has got a long way to go. A lot of things can be done. A lot of mistakes can be made. A lot of different things can happen. I mean, at the end of the day, racing is racing because you never know what's going to happen. So we'll have to see here as they are nearing the end of this stage too. It's going to get them all bunched back together, but we don't know how that's all going to shake out either with the tire strategy, which, you know, we got a 65 lap run to the end of this race. You know, you can only go about 25 laps on fuel, so you're going to have to stop twice. I don't know how you're going to split that up, you know, how you're going to make tires work. What do you do there to make it the fastest? We'll see who has the answer at the end of this race, really.
Well, you know, we would think talking about strategy being the way to beat Curtis Preston, really, because it doesn't seem like he's got, you know, anybody that can keep up with him just outright speed. But we talked about Kevin Jadrusitz. He's got those 2 sets left, and he can take tires on every stop. Well, really, I think Curtis Preston might as well.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he'll have 2 sets, but I mean, does he take a set here? At the biggest thing that Kevin has going for him, even though the lap times we're looking at, Kevin's not even running faster laps than Curtis. Curtis could technically do what Kevin's doing, but you got to think that Curtis is almost on 40 lap old tires now. Kevin's only on about 20 lap older tires now, which could give him the option of not taking tires at the stage. We'll have to see. I don't know. It's risky, you know. At the same time, if you take a set here, then you have 1 set left. You could go right sides and left sides on your 2 stops, and just, you know, kind of make, because you don't really, with it being 65 laps, you know, they're going to restart with about 61 to go. You don't really need to go like that far. If you can just get far enough to, you know, you run 10 laps, pit, take left sides, then run the next, you know, 25 laps and just put your right sides on at the end, and you have a 25 lap run to the end. You could do that strategy. There's a lot of strategies still to be played. That was my thing coming out. I was just trying to think how you could run this race and, you know, make it work. And you can see Kevin Sabilla, man, not having the greatest run in that 78, and he is a playoff contender, 17 points out. So definitely going to need some good fortune on the side of Kevin as he's going a lap down now. He's not going to want him to catch nobody else, though, because that'll definitely hurt. But GT is the man ahead of him, and GT's times are looking good. So he's not going to catch GT here, but we'll see, as they are on the Sheffield graphics white flag here for stage number 2.
I'm trying to think of anything
that
I can ask Curtis Preston about for this interview after they complete whatever pit stop they're wanting to complete for the end of this stage. I'm just blown away by the pace that he's been able to set. Even old tires, fresh tires, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't. He's really looked on a different level.
Yellow flag is out.
As the caution is out there, stage number 2 is over. As Curtis Preston is your stage number 2 winner here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll get a talking with him after these guys go through the pit sequence, but man, he's just looked super fast in that Jim Beam machine. Maybe that thing's running on Jim Beam tonight. I don't know.
Got that ethanol fuel in there, taking off like a rocket out here at Indy.
He's definitely had a rocket ship, man. He's not made no mistakes yet. Looked very strong, but still a long way to go in this race. 65 laps. That's an eternity here at Indianapolis. So we'll see what he can do to continue his dominance here tonight in that number 29 machine here as Curtis Preston, winner of stage number 2 tonight in the RSR Cup Series. And that's, remember, he was second in the first stage. So that's 19 points, and that is building him a nice little points for, coming out of that 35-point gap. And even if he doesn't win tonight and he gets a top 5, top 3, he could be looking at being in the playoffs or a couple points out even.
Well, look, coming into this race, he was 35 out from Matt Upbrook and Andrew Little. Andrew Little with that really unlucky incident early in this race. Gonna fall pretty far in the standings, I believe. He's so far made up enough points to cut into his gap by half, a little over half, and still hasn't even got points for finishing. But again, if he goes out and wins this race like he's looked like he's going to, just on speed so far, none of that matters. But if it comes down to it, do you take the risk late and push really hard and maybe have an issue, or do you just say, I've already got a lot of points, second's okay?
I don't know. That's I think he goes for the win. The win gets him locked in. He has no worries then going into next week, and he can just have fun. That's one of my favorite things to say is just go into next week, have fun. I mean, it's Kansas, so we'll see how it all shakes out for that. But Kansas is going to be wild for the rest of these guys. If he can go in and win, he has no worries, and that pushes someone else out, and the points could get real tight from there. There it is. He comes off pit road, wins the race off pit road, and I believe he did take 4 tires and fuel. Yes, he did. Pretty much everybody, I believe, did.
It looks like Randy Cornwell's staying out, maybe trying to lead a lap and then pitting next time by. But yeah, the looks of it, everybody's taking 4 tires.
Yes, they had here, and we will get a talk in here with Curtis Preston, our stage number 2 winner, and we'll see what he has to say here to our main man, Brandon Colley. Here's Curtis Preston.
Hey, Curtis, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, I gotta ask, how many races have you run here at Indy? Because it looks like you just are on rails. You perfect line every corner, perfect marks, no mistakes whatsoever, and just incredible pace. Fresh tires, old tires, it doesn't matter. How do you know this place so well?
I've turned a few laps here and practiced quite a bit this week getting ready. We got behind the ball last week, not being able to make the race, so we're got our backs against the wall, man. It's time to perform or go to the house. So we'll see what we can do here.
Yeah, and that's something we've been talking about all night. Coming in with a gap of 35 points or so, and so far you've already banked yourself 19 points, a little more than half of what you were back from. Still got a lot more you can gain for winning this thing, but if you win, you're locked in. So how hard are you going to push to just say, screw the points, I'm a win?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of racing left to do. It just depends on caution flags and what kind of choices we make here to how aggressive we are. I feel like we got great long run speed, so hopefully we see a lot more green flag here, and I think we'll be in good shape.
All right, Curtis. Well, we appreciate you coming up here talking to us during this caution here, and I'm excited to see how you run the rest of this race. It's been a pleasure watching so far, so hopefully we can talk to you at the end of this thing.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, that was Curtis Preston. Your stage number 2 victory here tonight for him. Very important race. Very important race for that 29.
Sounds a lot more calm than I'd be.
Yeah, I mean, personally, with the way he's ran all night, I don't know how that he's got to be calm because he's just hitting his marks. He's not being over anxious and trying to get too much out of it. He's just done a perfect race. I mean, literally, he's got the definition of a perfect race going on right now. Other than finishing second in stage 1, but that really just losing that to Travis Everett taking the 2 tires.
Yeah, just watching Curtis Preston out here tonight. Everybody else showed up and they're racing. He's just kind of out on a Sunday drive. It's very rarely you'll see such a just flawless almost race where there's not even been like even bobbles as far as mistake goes. It's just so smooth.
It's definitely been smooth, man. And actually looking back here, Brandon, Travis Everett, he's pulling some strategy here too. He did not take tires this time. So
Well, we saw with Kevin Jadrosich how long he stayed out, and he was able to not fall a lap down. I think Travis Everett he either had a penalty or he's fixing a lot of damage. His last pit stop was 1 minute and 36 seconds.
yeah, no damage. He just sat there. Is what I noticed. He just sat there. Which he's coming back down now to top off. Which topping off here is kind of interesting. We're not, it's not 50 to go. But it's 60 to go right now. So if they're coming and topping off here, it's an interesting call. I don't know what kind of strat they're going to play, but they're definitely topping off and getting some more fuel.
I wonder. I'm trying to think as to if I was in this position, what I would be trying to gain by doing all this. And again, he's still sitting there. I wonder if maybe he has damage and it's a visual thing, because I don't understand just sitting in the pits like that.
Neither do I. I mean, I guess maybe to get to the back of pack since he knows he's going to get maybe not to get ran over, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a viable strategy. If you know you're going to end up back there, don't take the risk of everybody trying to get by you and somebody get into you. Just go ahead and put yourself there. So it may work out. And, as we said before, Kevin Jadrosich, he did the same thing. And he didn't go a lap down. He was able to hold pace. And he's not rebounded entirely, but he's still in pretty good shape.
Well, we'll have to see how all the strategies play out here tonight as we get to our final stage. We'll have 60 laps of showdown here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Man, oh man,
Green.
it's going to be fun to watch here. As they come to the restart zone, yes they do. Curtis Preston takes off with Nathan Campbell. Side by side as they go down to turn 1 with Ryan Bean third, Zach Strittenthal in fourth.
Well, these Stealth Motorsports guys are putting on a really good show. And again, Ryan Bean after rebounding. Oh, as he gets loose. Ryan Bean's loose. Oh, in front of the 11.
Losing it. What a save.
Oh, wow.
The 25 just had the save of the race right there. Wow. As it looks like Kevin Ruff, Craig Burns now battling for that 4th position. Look at Craig Burns coming into the picture. Craig Burns always knows when to show up, man, in that 12. We see last week at Darlington.
And I'm thinking about that save from Ryan Bean. Unfortunately, he got a little bit of damage on the rear, but the one that hurt the most was Matthew Rush that got into the back. Nose damage here at Indy with the speeds that you have to carry. It is so much of a killer for your race pace. Long run, short run, it doesn't matter. It's just going to slow you down. So I'm sure he's hoping for a caution at some point to be able to sit on pit road and get that fixed. But pretty tame other than that.
Yeah, pretty tame. And Matthew Rush, a playoff driver, that's very critical for him. Hopefully it doesn't affect him too bad. But like you said, aerodynamics here can be terrible. And now up front, Nathan Campbell's took the lead with Zach Strittenthal in second. They put Curtis Preston back to third. But I can tell you what, Curtis Preston, he's a lion just stalking his prey right now. Just thinking about that.
Yeah, when we talked to him after his stage win, he said he felt like he had really good long run pace, and he didn't really put up much of a fight letting those two by. So he's playing that long pace game and just waiting until everything starts to even out. He's got a little bit better tires.
Yeah, you heard what he said. One flag runs. And that's the key. As Ryan Bean goes past Matthew Rush there to move himself back up into the 7th position.
Now, I will say, Zach, I don't think Curtis Preston has really been in traffic very much. And as we know, that arrow push can really, it really accelerates the wear that you have on that right front. So I'm interested to see how much he's able to save just from being that close, tucked in behind Nathan Campbell and Zach Schrittenthal. If it's going to hurt his right front, he's not going to have as good a pace as he would like to have had or he's expecting to have.
I can see how that shakes out for him because it definitely has a factor, but I think Curtis Preston's definitely just it seems like if this was 6 months ago, that would be a huge factor. I feel like, but they've definitely tuned the that dirty airfield down, and really you can kind of do the little thing where here at Indy you can kind of just ride behind someone and let them pull you around the racetrack. Just back up the corners, get a decent run off, and just let them pull you around the racetrack and use their draft as possibly what he's doing here. Is actually under pressure now from here as they go down to 1.
Yeah, it's very viable. I mean, there's no reason to go out and lead right now. It's it's still midpoint in the race. Still got quite a lot of laps left to go. So you can be absolutely fine just being content getting towed around this place, and it actually will save you a little bit of fuel as well.
Yeah, the draft will save actually a good bit of fuel. You'd be surprised how much you can. And I gotta say, shout out to Kevin Ruff. Look at him up to the 4th position, looking pretty strong too. I gotta say in that 112.
Yeah, and a little bit of right side damage, but still really good pace, especially in the draft. And I know Robert is going to be super happy to see a Toyota up in the top 5.
He's probably shaking in his boots right now. Oh, so he just expects. So what he said, guys, is he just expects Toyotas to hear this guy. Is now look at the snaking. This is something you ain't seen really yet. Is snaking down the front straightaway or back straightaway in the front straightaway to break that draft. And Curtis says, "All right, this is time to go back." He wants to get back to 2nd place as he's seen Nathan Campbell start to pull away in that 52 machine.
I think, as we saw before, Curtis was able to get out to a pretty big gap, and then nobody was able to catch him, even with that draft towing them around. So I think rather than have to, really push harder to make up that ground and get back to the draft, just push a little bit now to stay with it and not have to burn up any more tire than you're really wanting to.
Definitely don't want to burn up the tires, that's for sure, my friend. And GT Irizarry is really making runs to the field now. He's up to 10th. Remember, he restarted back in the mid-20s. So back up to 10th after that speeding on pit road. A little bit of a gap there to the 23 of Chad and Matthew Rush. So he's got a little bit of time to make up on them guys. But he's doing a great job. We'll be surprised to see him get back up into this top 5 by the end of this race.
Well, he's definitely shown that he has the speed to be up in the top 5 and even to contend for the lead with his teammate Curtis Preston. But with these two battling in front of them, they're losing ground to the guys ahead of them. And it gets to a point, unless you've just got incredible pace, you almost get stuck in a no man's land where you can't really make up ground because you don't have the draft that the other guys have getting pulled around, and it's really hard to gain time.
Always hard to gain time when you're not in that draft. It's especially a track like this, man. It's really a different track than most tracks. With the way it sets up with this 550 horsepower package. As you can see, Nathan Campbell, look at him snake down the straightaway and break that draft with Curtis Preston. Curtis Preston's still a good run down the front straightaway. He's going to be all over the back bumper. Nathan Campbell going into 1. I would not be surprised to see him lead the next lap.
Well, Curtis Preston and Zach Schrittenthal were both 2/10 quicker. They both ran identical lap times of 51.71 to Nathan Campbell's 51.93 as we see Curtis go around for the pass now for the lead.
Yes, he is back to the front for that 29. It's going to be hard to stop that 29 if this thing goes long, man. As you're seeing Ryan Bean even take a look here on Cavan. Looks like he will get back into that 4th position. Ryan Beans looked strong all night, even after that penalty.
Well, it just goes to show, what could have been had he not had that penalty. Could he have been up there racing with these guys and maybe figured something out as to what Curtis is doing to make his runs a little bit better? How much more speed he might have at this point in the run.
We're looking back at the 54, Anthony Younes there, running in the 7th position. Good run for him. Started 30th, so big climb up the field for that number 54. What a race for him so far. As you got Matthew Brush there in behind Chad Biesinger and GT Irizarry, who's got past Chad now up to 9th. And we'll see if he can continue his thing. As we look back to Travis Everett, our points leader coming in tonight, stage 1 winner. Remember, he did not take tires on the last stop. He's 22 seconds behind. But my thing is here, it's 50 to go now, Brandon. He needs to pit very, very soon because he has 2 sets of tires.
Yeah, I mean, if you split it right down the middle, it's probably your best chance. You're just going to lose time going any further. Is even up here in the field, GT Irizarry pushing Matthew Rush by Anthony Younes. He said, come on, man, we got to go. And then he looks to the inside. Oh, thinks better of it. Yeah, I mean, you've got 50 laps for Travis Everett and 2 tires. You're going to have to dig really hard to make up that time, 22 seconds back. He may fall a lap down as he's pitting. But depending on how the field's spread out and if he can just continuously get that draft from these packs of cars, that could be very advantageous for him.
Yeah, the draft, we said it continually. The draft is just huge. And getting that draft is going to be big. Factor here is look at Randy Cornwell now in the 17th position. Not too far behind Kevin Sabilla there in that 16th position. He needs a good run here tonight, too, coming out of the points. Oh, in the 78. Oh, has a big moment. Is he pitting?
Oh, no, that's definitely going to be a speeding penalty.
Yeah, that's way too fast for that 78. This is one of the hardest pit roads to get slowed down.
Yeah, and I think that was probably unplanned. I think he caught the wall, just tried to, put some wheel into it to get off, and car slid to the inside, and rather than, maybe try to wheel it back to the right and catch the pit entrance and have a lot worse result, just opted to try to get it slowed down, but unfortunately not quite enough, and he's going to have to serve this penalty here.
There's GT now up to 7th there, as we just seen on the cams. GT Irizarry making his move back up in that 14 machine. Let's see what what he can do, continue to move himself up. And even Ryan being up to 3rd now past Zach Schrittenthal. And let's see if he can make some time on Nathan Campbell's. Nathan Campbell's been looking pretty strong though also in that 52 all night.
Yeah, he's been riding up there in the top 5 pretty much all night, along with Zach Schrittenthal. They just really biding their time, playing it smart, and trying to work together, push each other around this thing. But Curtis Preston, man, I just don't know what more to say about the guy. He's already pulled out to a 1.4, now 1.3 second lead, and it just tenths quicker every lap. I don't know what these guys can do. He just has this place figured out so well.
Yeah, he came in here back against the wall, and he's making the most of it here tonight. He's definitely, by far, been the quickest car. Just had overall pace on every single car out here. He's not want to say he's made it look easy, but he's just made it look nice and smooth and never out of his control.
Yeah, maybe not look easy, but he certainly hasn't made it look difficult. That's for sure. It's just, it's like butter.
It's like butter.
I can't believe it's not butter.
That we can't, my friend, as we continue to run laps around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, nearing a lap 100 here. Going to be very, very soon. I think pit stops being happened. I wonder if Travis Everett is still yet to pit. See, my thing is, you got 2 sets of tires. You're wasting time that you could be using on those tires. You're already 25 seconds behind. You need to pit, in my opinion, especially with the leader still running 52s.
25 seconds behind, and almost a full second to 2 seconds at times, depending on traffic, slower than the leader. I'm not sure when the rest of these guys are going to pit, but you're absolutely right. Travis Everett should have, in the last 5 laps at least, come in and taken that first set. They've only got 45 laps to go at this point.
Yes.
I think his plan,
20 maybe, split in the 20s.
If shorten the amount of times you have to be on both sets of tires and push harder.
Yeah.
As we have Kevin Ruff and Ryan Bean coming in, Craig Burns following them.
It'll be interesting to see what these guys do tire-wise, because we know these guys only have 1 set. Do they not take a set here and then they come down with 25, 20 to go and take that final set? That'll be the question. How these guys split it up. But I think if you're Travis Everett and these guys, you have to pit if you're still on old tires. It's literally super important.
And we see Travis Everett elect not to come in this time by. But yeah, Ryan Bean, Casey Kuntz, Craig A. Burns, Kevin Ruff, Michael Sheffield, Adam Buzzio, Tony Ludi, all coming into pit this time by. And it looks like
no tires for most of them.
Nobody's taking tires. Casey and Adam both on for an extended period of time on pit road. Still, yeah, all fuel for those guys that just came into pit.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's what you had to do, personally. Because just in case you catch a caution in this next part, you want to still have an extra set of tires.
Absolutely. I believe that's the smart call. It's gone green, and you'd like to think that it's going to continue that. But just because it's gone green so far, it does not mean you're not going to get, 3 cautions in the last 20 laps. 1 caution here, and everybody gets bundled back up. There's not much time left. Everybody's going to be getting after it. And cautions breed cautions. We see it so many times here on Freaky Fast with late race cautions just compounding themselves.
I was about to say that, Brandon. Will the Freaky Fast curse strike again? Let us know out in the chat if you think a late race caution is going to happen, because something about this broadcast here, it likes we don't mean to jinx them, but it happens, and we're sorry, but we'll have to see how it shakes out. But oh man, I see something in the chat box, Brandon. Kevin Sabilla, one of our playoff drivers, has throughputed. That is terrible.
Oh no. Oh, unfortunate for Kevin. I'm sure Curtis saw that and goes, okay. That's a little bit less pressure for me, guy that's going to lose some points, but I got to point out, I'm listening to the chat here, and the 88 of Ryan Azell is telling us to stop talking about the late race cautions and not to curse them.
And we just said it. Oh no.
He's just going over the radio saying, stop talking about it, Freaky Fast.
We don't mean any harm. But yeah, I mean, personally, I would like this race to go green just for the fact of, I want to see it shake out the way that, especially for Curtis Preston's sake. I want to see it shake out for him the way he deserves it, just from what he's had here tonight. I know the feeling of losing a race, due to a late race caution, and it's not fun. And I tell you what, in these early runs, you can really send it in these cars in the draft, and the passing is a lot more common. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
And the thing is, not only just to make sure that all these strategies play out and see how they all unfold, the fact that it's just such an achievement to go 145 laps green.
Yes.
It is a milestone. It's not really something you see very often, especially on iRacing. There's just so many things that could happen. Netcode that we've seen be so bad lately. can just cause a caution. And for it to have gone so smoothly so far, I'm very impressed with all these drivers, and they should be very proud of the effort they put in so far during this race.
Look here at Scott Taylor in that 24 machine, running that 9th position right now. Doing pretty decent there. He's, you know, a spot ahead of Randy Cornwell there. Scott Taylor coming tonight, 14 points out. Is a definitely important finish for him.
And, you know, Mr. Taylor in that 24 machine up 26 spots from the start of the race. Very good run for him so far.
Very critical, and you know, I'm interested to see how this all shakes out. I think Kevin Giadricic has pitted from his position, and he's on new tires. So that's the thing you got to think about here is, remember, he's got 2 sets, so he's going to be able to make up some time there. I think he was in the right ballpark. Travis Everett still yet to come in. I'm just wondering Travis Everett's strategy right now. It's definitely a little bit interesting. I think if you're him, you know, you have 2 sets of tires. You want to come in as soon as possible when you can make it.
Well, I think, Zach, he's trying to make these the split pit stops that he's going to have to run as short as possible, so he can get the most out of that set. It's just a matter of how much time are you going to gain by doing that versus how much you're losing by not pitting yet. And it's not something you're going to know until you've already done it.
Yeah, he's like a second slower than the leader. That's my thing about it is, you know, you're second slower every lap, and you can make it to the end if you you know, at 1 stop, or 2 stops. So yeah, it's such a you know, a catch-22, as you could say. So
and
what happens? We'll have to see.
While all this is going on, we've got Zach Schrittenthal, Nathan Campbell, and GT Irizarry all on pit road right now. And it looks like maybe GT took right sides, but everyone else only fuel. As we have the 23 call that he's pitting this time by.
I think GT was only fuel too.
May have fixed a little bit of damage.
Possibly, yeah. And it's interesting because Zach Schrittenthal came in there and, you know, the second spot behind them. He came out way ahead of them too. I just seen pretty much everybody hit pit road mostly now.
Yep, Chad Biesinger, Robert Nestor, Anthony Younes, all on pit road. Kevin Jadricic, a little bit hairy getting through this traffic here on older tires. A couple bobbles, but no contact, kept it pointing in the right direction and making pretty good time.
Yeah, running 51.52 there. And, you know, another thing to think about this for Travis Everett is he's in 7th right now. If he was to catch a caution or something, that would be like a godsend for him. You know, like he literally it'd be the racing god saying, "Here you go, here's a free pass," because he's got 2 sets. It would put him in a pretty good spot, especially because he'd be able to take a set here under caution, and then these other guys would have to question as Curtis Preston now comes in. So it gives him strategy options, and he did come in with a pretty good points lead, and I think he'll be coming this time. Yes, Travis Everett will be coming this time in the 59 machine. But Curtis Preston taking tires. He's elected to take his 4 tires here.
I mean, he's got the speed on fresh tires that if somebody takes tires, especially if this thing goes green, even if they take fresh tires, he's going to be at such a gap. They're going to have to push so hard just to catch him. And I think that's what he's banking on. This is a gamble that, hey, it's gone green so far. I'm going all in the fact that we're not going to get a yellow.
If they get a yellow, that's a race-losing move.
I completely agree.
Oh man, I don't even know what to think about that personally. Especially with the lead he had, I don't think. We'll have to see. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm not saying it's right either. Because if you catch any type of caution here, he has no sets of tires left. He is a sitting duck. I don't care how fast he's been on the long run. That's it.
Old tires just do not beat fresh tires.
Nope. So interesting strategy call. He's going all out for it, and we'll we'll have to see. Now it's in his as you can say, his ball field to figure out how to make it around here with all these tires and make it to the end of this race. As you know, you got 35 to go, so and he's sitting in that 12th position in points, so he needs to go for the win. But at the same time, he was pretty much sitting in the winning spot. Even if I'd say he saved that set for the last stop, it's an interesting call here, Brandon. I'm definitely kind of shocked by it, but it could work out all in the end still.
It's one of those deals where, you know, you're flipping a coin. If it works out and they go green, he looks like a hero. If they get a caution, then it's all zero. Yeah, it's just the risky take, I guess. The strategy, you live by the strategy, you die by the strategy. But to go all in when you got the chip lead, I don't know if I'd do that.
It's that's my thing when you the risk versus reward here is I don't know if it's worth it because he's going to build a major gap here. And he's going to be pretty strong, and the gap he's going to build is going to be tremendous size if it stays green that these guys won't be able to make up, in my opinion. But you're still just banking on so much
I mean,
here.
And if you look at it, you know, second and third place, Ryan Bean, Kevin Rupp did not take tires. Curtis, the last time by, was 3 seconds quicker.
Yeah.
If it does not, if it goes green and we don't get a caution, nobody's going to catch him. Even if somebody takes fresh tires, he's just going to have such a lead. But I don't know. I feel like it's too risky for me to ever think of doing something like that. I'd want to have that extra set because I've seen it way too many times where it looks green, and then you get a caution at the end, and you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah, and you know, you said 3 seconds faster. He's going to be 3 seconds slower if they get the caution.
That's right, yeah.
So, I mean, even with the pace he's had the best long run pace. I mean, he's had the best mid run pace. He's had just the best pace. Old tires don't beat fresh tires in iRacing. It's you know, there's not a dirty air factor like we have in the Cup Series. There's not this, you know, yeah, you got dirty air, but it's nowhere near what you see in the real life racing. You know, it's literally going to be an easy pass at that point. But I'm telling you, the race does have it has the green look. It stayed green. We have yet to have one wreck. All race calls a caution. Only cautions have been the stage cautions. It's up in the air now at this point. We just got to see how it all plays out as we're looking back here at Kevin Ruff directly ahead of Craig A. Burns in that fourth position there. The battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th is pretty hot.
Well, as we're watching that battle, Zach, I want to bring up the fact I talked about Travis Everett trying to shorten these stints that he's having to run and how hard he's going to have to push. 2 laps ago, set the fastest lap of the race with a 50.24.
That he did.
He is flying.
Yeah, and he just made the pass for 18th and about 36 seconds behind last time by. We'll have to see his continued progress, but he will have another set on that next stop, which will be very interesting to see. And I gotta say, Kevin Diadricic, his times are starting to not look as great as they were. So there's about a 53.66 last time by, even though he took tires. But he's up to 12th, so he's making grounds to get back into that top 10, maybe even a top 5.
And as far as Travis Everett is concerned, he's got a pretty big points gap that he can bank on for that cutoff line. So even if this does not win him the race, considering that, you know, he just accidentally put himself in the hole, to pull this together and just salvage as many points, if he can get a top 10 out of this, it's a win. It's a fantastic rebound.
And for him, points-wise, that would be a great night, Brandon. I mean, 33 coming in tonight, stage win, and then also a pretty decent finish in stage 2. To get back into the top 10 or top 5, it'll be very, very good.
As we see, you know, Ryan Bean Still trucking along, second place, 11 seconds back, still 2 seconds slower than Curtis in the lead. But GT only 5 seconds back from Ryan. But these guys, nobody right in that pack until you get to 4th, 5th, and 6th with Craig A. Burns, Kevin Ruff, and Zach Schrittenthal. None of them have a draft. It's just single car pace at this point. And I think it's a matter of time until I think the 4th, 5th, and 6th place guys are able to catch them and just kind of run them down pretty easily.
I'm flabbergasted by how this race might play out here. This is all different types of strategies. Weird things are going on right now, man. We'll have to see who can shake it out. As Ryan Bean, like I said, still here in second. You got GT in third, Craig A. Burns in that 4th position, Kevin Ruff in 5th, Zach Schrittenthal in 6th. So you got 3 playoff drivers here in the top 7. So the playoff guys are kind of shook up here tonight. And Andrew Little, really, he took the biggest brunt of all of it. I mean, 35th right now, dead last, 108 laps down. Then your next guy is going to be Kevin Sabilla, who's running his 30th, 20 laps down. Matt Upbrook, he's running 27th, 2 laps down. So not great nights for those guys, especially with Andrew Little and Matt Upbrook coming in tonight tied 8th and 9th. And with the run that Curtis is having, that's going to push both of them down even farther. You're also got Kevin, who was out coming into tonight. So it's not looking great for those guys. They're definitely going to have their backs against the wall, as Curtis said, for himself.
Yeah, and, for a lot of these guys, they're going to have to come out next week and do exactly what Curtis is doing. They're going to have to pull the old Chase Elliott and, come out with a must-win situation and dominate the race to get that win. And it's not just getting a win is hard enough, but getting one when you absolutely need one, it's near an impossible feat. There's just so many things that can go wrong during any given race.
The most impressive thing to me, personally, about this whole Curtis Preston domination here tonight so far, Travis Everett, he took tires, I believe, on lap 110. Was his first get up to speed lap. And Curtis was 110 also, so they took him at the same time pretty much. But man, oh man, the difference in times now is so impressive. They're running pretty much similar lap times now, but it just seems like Travis, he's gonna have to make it up on the second part of the run for that number 59 coming in tonight being the points there. He's got to make up that ground when he has that last set here. But even if it's just this is gonna be so interesting to see how it all shakes up by the end. And we'll have to see how the points shakes out for next week. I mean, with Curtis Preston winning, he would move up to first and block himself in. But that would also push, Travis and GT even closer, which Travis got the stage win. GT also didn't get points in the second stage as Travis did. So it should be pretty close between them guys.
And listening to the radio chatter again, Ryan comes over and says, "Hey guys, can we get a nod for one of the most boring no caution broadcasts?"
Give us a like and share for that.
Always a fun time with the admins and broadcasters here at Freaky Fast.
Yes, it is. Personally, I mean, usually these races don't have a lot of yellows. I mean, especially the RSR, the Cup Series, they definitely don't usually have a lot of yellows. But the fact that it's Indy 2, that kind of plays into this spread out game here that we're seeing. But I definitely expected to see a couple. So it's definitely impressive to see him go this far, but it definitely doesn't add to the entertainment factor when you got the leaders 17 seconds ahead. But that's racing, and I when people say, "Oh, somebody won by so much, that was a terrible race," I don't really like that statement just because, you know, just like this is a good old Tony Stewart you know, quote. You know, you look up racing in the dictionary, look up passing in the dictionary. We can go on the interstate and pass all day, but this is racing. It isn't about passing. It's about who's the best that given day and who is you know, who's dominates. It's some days you're gonna have people dominate, and some days you're gonna have really close races. You never gonna get, you know, crazy excitement every race, and the way racing you know comes out.
And where you mess up is when you try to force that cough cough NASCAR cough cough.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes it's you know, it's just not the most exciting thing to watch. You know, it passes and, you know, bumper to bumper and door to door, leaving donuts on the other car. It's really exciting, but it's not going to happen all the time.
Yeah, not every race is going to be a classic. That's
Yeah.
one thing I think fans need to get through their head sometimes. That's a big issue I have with them is they think every race needs to be a classic door banging finish to the end, but it's not always going to be you know, a classic. Some days you're just going to have guys that dominate, and respect those guys when they do because it's a competition.
And, you know, if every race was a classic, no race would be a classic.
Exactly.
That's what
Brandon.
makes those
Yep.
races so special.
It's exactly what it does. I mean, you know, when you have those gems of races is when you're like, oh man, that just satisfied me so much, because you don't see it every day. As you look
Yeah.
back at Randy Cornwell now making a pass on the outside in that 18 machine.
Yeah, and you know, that's what makes some of those races so special. You watch and you went, I saw that live. I got to see that live, or I was at that race. I got to see that happen. And so we've got Ryan Bean, Craig A. Burns, Kevin Ruff, Nathan Campbell, Nolan Potter, Chad Biesinger, Kevin Jadrosich, Robert Nestor, Michael Sheffield, Randy Cornwell, Anthony. It's all on pit road. Everybody's coming.
Everybody's coming down pit road. It's very important now to get them tires on. But 23, or I believe what is that? I can't see. 22 to go. For some reason I saw 23 because my eyesight. Man, I need to get some glasses, guys.
Zach, I want to point out that Curtis Preston was so far ahead. Those guys were not even in their box or coming out of pit road. They were still going to their boxes, and he put them a lap down.
He's out there, man. If this stays green, nobody's gonna catch him.
I don't think so.
That is for sure, unless he has a major mistake in traffic here, something happens that we unforeseen. But still, it's definitely interesting how it's all gonna shake out here, man. I definitely think you're gonna see some definite changes up and down the lineup, but I don't want to say it again, but if the caution does happen, you will see some crazy stuff happen.
We've got Bob Fitzpatrick, Brock Potter, Scott Taylor all making their way out of pit road. 17 going to be pitting this time by. 84 pit last time by of Dustin Stallings. Looks like the 11 of Matthew Rush is coming into pit this time by. Honestly, if I'm GT, Zach, how long do you wait? If he has a set of tires, I'd be trying to take them as soon as I can, but you know, he's still like half a track behind in second place.
I don't really know, Brandon. He's in an interesting spot. I think he's trying to wait. Like, if he can stretch it farther here, then if a caution was to say come out, you know, he could be in a pretty good spot to have some of the freshest tires on the racetrack.
I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what anybody can do, and I think the best chance we have so far is somebody to catch and potentially, you know, take this win away from Curtis Preston as Travis Everett. He's made his way up to 4th position now. He pit lap 108, took tires, still has one set left, where definitely Curtis does not. When does he pit? When does Curtis pit? He's quite a bit back still from Curtis. I'd say probably 40 seconds, maybe 30 some odd seconds. And he calls he's pitting this time by. Zach Schrittenthal, I believe, is pitting this time by. Still no word from, and then GT, no word at all, but he decided to pit anyway. So Curtis still, these guys on pit road, and still increasing that lead.
Yeah, the other thing with Curtis is he's gonna have he's gonna have a faster stop too, just not having tires. So we'll have to see how close the gap gets because he's running 53.0 right now. The other guys are gonna be about 3 seconds a lap faster for the first 3 or 4 laps. So we'll be able to make up a good bit of that chunk of that lead. But I don't think it's gonna be very. I think he'll still end up with at least a 10-second lead by the end of this thing if this thing stays moving.
Does he have the whole field lapped?
Yeah, I believe the whole field is a lap down.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, and we'll have to see here as everybody's 1 lap down. That is amazing to see here at a 2.5-mile racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're not all going to stay that way. It's not like
Yeah.
he's going to pull a Petty or an Earnhardt or something, go out and lap the field and win the race, but he's still no signs of coming into pit. So
It's gotta happen soon.
Man. Oh yeah, it absolutely has to. He can't go much longer on fuel. He definitely can't make it to the end of the race. Man. I think, I don't know, maybe let these guys burn up their stuff and not have to worry about guys closing on you as quickly. I don't know.
On the new tires.
Running second compared to track position with the leader, but a lap down.
Wow.
Wow.
That's something to say for sure. And that's the difference between new tires and old tires. And that the thing is, don't want to say it again, but if you get a caution, that's the difference.
And unfortunately, if he was planning to pit that time by, he got stuck outside.
Yeah. Hopefully he's got the fuel to make it back around. I mean,
yeah, that would be heartbreaking to have lap cars pin you outside to where you can't make it to pit road and run out of gas.
he pitted at 108, so he should be good. At least for at least another lap or so. So he should be pretty decent to make it here, but we'll have to see him get to pit road here pretty soon.
Looking, Travis Everett still about 14 seconds back from Craig A. Burns, who was the last car, or the first car lap down rather. So he's still got pretty much a full track worth of ground that he's going to have to make up. He's going to be able to chunk into that pretty hard when Curtis decides to pit. But I don't think there's going to be enough pace there. I think the only other car that is not going to be on fresh tires for this run is the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick. He looked like he only took fuel. And then farther back in the field, the 24 Scott Taylor only fuel as well. Everybody else is on fresh tires.
Yep. That's exactly what's happened here. And Curtis Preston's going to be another lone man out there on non-fresh tires. And that's the thing, too. Think about this. There's going to be cars that are going way faster than him, unlapping themselves. That's where you can see some trouble.
Yeah, the most dangerous part of a pit cycle is when there's so many guys on fresh tires and then guys that are still yet to pit on older tires. Luckily, it seems like everybody else in the field has pit and is on those fresher tires. It negates that danger, but it's the one thing I think I worry about anytime I'm trying to plan a pit stop is, okay, how many guys are on fresh tires? How many guys are still on old tires? How close has the racing been so far? How likely is somebody going to be to just misjudge the speed and the closure rate that you're going to get and cause caution, pin me a lap down or something. But it's been okay so far. They've been able to negotiate every pit cycle flawlessly. Minor, penalties for missing the pit road entrance or just speeding, but flawless other than that.
Now, another thing we got to think about this is he's going to stretch this as far as possible for Curtis Preston because he's got all these guys trapped a lap down. If the caution was coming out now, those guys would have to take a wave, even though they would wave them around. They'd still be right there as he's going to be coming in this time here as we come to 13 to go. He's going to hit pit road, no speeding, and look good for me. Nice entry, and he'll come down and get him some fuel, and we'll see what the gap is from there.
Well, as of right now, Ryan Bean behind him, 47 seconds. Shirley going to close up by about 15 or so as he's on pit road.
Chris Preston in his box this time. Ryan Bean going down in 3. He is running 52 flat, which is going to be a good second faster. Curtis Preston leaves his box now as Ryan Bean comes out of 4. So it's going to be about a straightaway lead here.
And, you know, it's going to shrink with just the tire difference. But we've seen just how smooth Curtis is on his tires. He's still getting incredible pace out of how old those tires are. How hard does Ryan push and potentially burn up his stuff to where it evens out? Because as we said before, the tires just plateau after a certain point. It doesn't matter how many laps you've had on them.
No, you're exactly right. Ryan's coming out 2 now, but I mean, Curtis is going into 3 now. So really, it's only about a 12, 11 second gap, man. It's not that big of a lead for 13 to go with older tires.
Well, we'll see his first full speed lap, but they're coming to only have about 11 laps to go. So even if it is, you know, about a second to fall off, about half a second, he's still got a pretty good gap.
With 52-51 there, we'll have to see if he can keep his times up. I mean, Curtis Preston, before he came in there, was running, look at that real quick. And he was running 53.4, 53.6, 53.7. So right in the range, about a second per lap. If he catches him a second per lap, he'll be there.
Zach, I was looking at the interval coming out of turn 2. Curtis was actually able to pull a couple hundredths. Now through 3 and 4, he lost a little over a tenth. But then down the straightaway again, he's able to pull out another couple hundredths. So I don't think the gap is going to be all that much on lap times.
I guess, you know, the thing is, when you hit a 50, the lap times will start to even out. 52.71 to Curtis's 53.0. Wow, Curtis.
I don't think it's going to be enough.
That speed Curtis has on old tires is just so impressive.
To be able to still run 53 flats on tires that old, I wish I could do that. That's all I can say.
Right.
I mean, even the fresher tires, they're faster, yeah, but not that much faster. And then GT Irizarry, it looks to be even faster than Ryan Bean right now, and they're going to battle, and it's going to slow them both down.
Yeah, and Ryan is in big traffic too. Lost a major amount of time during this lap here. So, yeah, with this traffic here, definitely not helping. A 53.71, so he went a second slower in his lap before, while Curtis out front ran a 52.92. I'll tell you what, Ryan Bean put in a heck of an effort, but it's just going to come up a little bit short, definitely.
Yes, we've got, we talked about Travis Everett trying to play the tire game. Unfortunately, not working out quite as well. Had there been a caution, I think that would have been brilliant and would have worked out very well for him, as well as Kevin Jadrusich in the 9, but the race did not play out for him, but great job rebounding. And Ryan Bean especially, as we're coming to 10 to go here, you know, I'm impressed, even though Ryan's not, most likely going to win this race. The fact that he had that speeding penalty and has come back and he's contesting for second place right now, fantastic job.
Yeah, it's
oh no.
Well, I tell you what.
Oh no.
That's exactly what you didn't want to see for Curtis Preston, and
my heart is so sad for Curtis Preston right now. Oh,
And we'll have to, that is our or Nissan Central caution here, first one of the night. We'll have to go back here on replay and check this out. It's the 17 of Kevin Zabladil. Oh, man. That 17 just hard into the wall. Wow, look at him tumble. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, that was crazy, guys. Well, we're sorry. We didn't mean to jinx it, as always. But I tell you what, 8 laps to go. We'll probably have about 3 or 4 to go when we take the green. Whew.
tell you,
GT's looking in a pretty good spot, guys.
GT, but I don't know, Zach. He had a major gap, but his lap times were not that far off.
Yeah, they weren't far off, but oof, with that cool down phase here, I think they'll come back a little bit better than Curtis's.
We saw Curtis come out after his pit stop. His tires had a little bit of time to cool down, rolling down pit road. He was turning still incredibly quick laps for how old those tires are. I think he might have a good chance to hold them off if he's able to just put his car in the way and just be smooth like he's been the whole race. I think just being the leader is an advantage in itself. The tires, yeah, you want them, but for how good he's been, I'm not sure that's going to be what's going to win the race.
This is one of the situations where you take a deep breath. Zach Schrittenthal and Travis Everett, their times were pretty good. 52-1s on their last laps, compared to the leaders, 52-92. So it's a difference, and the draft is going to play a factor. That's another thing. You get up behind somebody, yeah, they were running single file, but they're going to have another pace advantage by getting the draft off that 29. And it gets wild now.
Man.
And, the question is also about dirty air out there, but dirty air is really not a big factor anymore.
It's still there, but it's not
it's
as bad as it used to be, where you would just get tucked in behind somebody and
just plow.
Yeah, their car would just kind of throw you into the outside wall. It was so bad, but it's not quite as bad anymore. But it's there to a degree.
Yeah, it's definitely been kicked back a lot less than it was earlier this year. But I'm telling you, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous about how this is all going to shake out. Wow. Coming down to the very end, and we finally have a caution. It's one of those things that you can foresee, but you never know.
Man, I not to play favorites or anything like that, but I think Curtis should win this race. He's run flawlessly, but man, it's racing. I'm sure he knew the risk when he decided to take the tires when he did. Well, we talked about this risk. It's if he loses, I'm sure it's going to be one of the losses he remembers the most. That's for sure.
Whew, man. I'm kind of like lost for words as the pace car lights are off, so we'll be going back this time green. It's going to be 5 to go. It's going to be a lot. That's an eternity around here.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, just how long exactly 5 laps is, and it's a lot of opportunity for these guys to get a good run. Yeah, or wreck. Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, we talked about cautions breed cautions, especially at the end here, where everybody knows they don't have a lot of laps to go. If they just keep getting cautions and Curtis can get good restarts, they may just run out of cautions.
Yeah, it's I would not want to be in Curtis's position right now. This is a back against the wall moment. And this is what will define his race right here. This is going to be interesting to watch how it plays out. Everybody at home, get ready for this because it's going to be a close one. That's for sure. And it's going to be something surprising, I think.
Now, Zach, before they go green, I got to point this out. GT and Curtis are teammates. Does GT help his teammate get the win to make sure he's locked in?
Yeah, the thing is, GT's really good on points, so GT could do that. But same as Indianapolis, do you want to win this race? It's tough. But we'll see here as the pace car pulls in, possibly for the final time tonight. They go to 5 to go. Curtis Preston leads us. He's dominated this race. Green flag in the air. What a restart from Curtis Preston. Can Ryan Bean get down in front? Yes, he does. Get down in front of GT RSR. We'll have to see how it all plays out now. It's going to be a wild one. Can Ryan Bean make the move on this race? Can GT? Can Craig A. Birds go back to back? We'll have to see.
And let's not forget Travis Everett up sixth place.
Yeah. If they go down the back straightaway, you're going to see this snake maneuver now. This is going to be where you want to break the draft. And look at the draft. Look how much of the draft it just sucks Ryan Bean right to the back bumper of Curtis Preston down into 3 and 4, or down into 3 as they go towards 4. Curtis Preston trying to hang on to this victory. Off of 4 to go. It'll be 4 to go this time in Indianapolis. Here you go. You got GT on the inside of Ryan Bean. Curtis Preston is pulling Ryan Bean down the straight, but GT had such a good run, man. And that's going to give up the position to the GT now. What does he do? They're right on the teammate game. Does teammates go out the window here, or does... Oh, I don't know.
You want your teammate. You want to help your teammates, but at the same time, a win's a win, man.
He's got to be in for championship too.
Yeah, there's so much at stake.
This is going to be a wild finish here as they go down into 3. GT closing in a little bit here.
And I have to point out, last time by, GT was only a 10th quicker than both Curtis Preston and Ryan Bean. Curtis Preston is still so fast on these tires.
Yeah, it's impressive what he's done. Even just to be in the lead still. With 3 to go now, GT's definitely closed in. I don't know if he'll be able to make the pass. Oh, Curtis gets a little bit loose there in 1. Slides up the racetrack, does a good job to recover from that pretty quickly. We'll see how it all shakes out here. GT really good through there.
I'd rather be loose in 1 than in 2.
That's right.
Travis Everett to lift out of 2. Yeah, and Travis is closing in a little bit, but it's pretty much just 3-horse race. Ryan Bean, he's falling back just a little bit. I don't think he has quite as much as GT, but GT all over the back of his teammate.
You know that I don't think there's no team stuff going on here, Brandon, because he was snaking down the straightaway trying to break that trap from GT. He knows GT's trying to go for this win as they come to 2 to go. He had a great exit off 4 though that time.
Yeah, GT just got a little bit of the curb, maybe had to throttle play a little bit just to keep the car underneath of him, and that great exit speed and that time by lap times are almost identical for Curtis and GT.
How are they running 52 flats almost with all these old tires? That just shows you the temperatures. The temperatures drop, and you get your tires back.
And it also shows an incredible amount of skill for these guys to just be running this hard to try to get the win, and still running these great lap times, not overdriving it, not overheating. Curtis Preston, he's just a little bit sloppier than he has been all race, but I think he feels the need that he has to push now. He can't just take his time.
Great run off of 4. He's been amazing off 2 and 4, where you got to be. Here's your Sheffield Graphics white flag. One final time around here. It's official. We're going to see how it all shakes out here in the RSR Cup Series, Brandon. Whew. Tell you what, I think he can hold on to this. This will be the drive of a lifetime.
One more lap. He has had a flawless race, no mistakes, just one more clean lap, and there's nothing GT can do.
GT closes in off of 2. He's definitely closed the gap, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as it's still a car length going down to turn 3. Down into turn 3, he's going to have to see a mistake here from that 29 to 14. What's the chance? Coming off of 3, pretty even, 1 car length. Down into 4 for one final time. it looks like Curtis Preston, he's going to move himself into the round of 8. Your winner tonight in that 29, Curtis Preston. What a race. What a run. Congrats to him. GT comes home second with Ryan Bean in that 3rd position with Travis Edwards.
Incredible race. Not a lot of cautions, a lot of strategy. Curtis Preston just said, you know what, screw the strategy. I don't need it. I'm just going to go out here and just outrun everybody. I don't need points. I'm just going to win. Great job.
Wow. Wow is all we can say about that. Definitely, GT didn't make it easy on him there. GT gave him everything he had. And the times they ran at the end there for Curtis to run those fast at times on those old tires, that is astounding. He literally just drove the best laps of his life.
It goes to show, when he was running before that caution, he was, 6 or 7 tenths slower. Just how much he is able to pace himself.
Wow, we're going to see him burn them down here and get to kiss them virtual bricks here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What a run for that 29. Came in here back against the wall, and he is your victor here tonight at the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And man, oh man, we will get ready for this post-race interview as we get all these guys down here, and we will be back in one moment, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen. And man, oh man, what a race we've had here tonight. What a win for Curtis Preston. He definitely had his work cut out for him there at the end. And we're going to get a talk in here with our race winner, Curtis Preston. Hey, Curtis, is Zach up in the booth, man? You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Zach. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, Curtis, man. I was very nervous for you there on that restart, man, but I'm going to tell you what. That was some of the best driving I might have seen in a long time. To make those old tires work on that restart and be able to hold off the guys with fresher tires behind you, and really just watching your lap times. I mean, you came into this before the caution. You were running about a 52.9, anywhere, a high 52. You were in the 51s back there as those tires definitely got to cool down a little bit, so you got a little bit more grip possibly back. But man, still just to hit those perfect laps. How was that from the driver's seat? Were you worried? Just tell me the emotions right now.
Oh, I was a nervous wreck, a little upset when the caution came out because I knew guys behind me had fresh rubber. We were playing the green flag strategy all the way. Just pretty sure my teammate cut me a little slack there. He had a run there on me once and didn't take it. So, yeah, just glad it turned out the way it did, man.
Yeah, man. Well, that means you're in the round of 8 now, my friend. You came in here 12th, like you said to Collie earlier. Backs was against the wall, 35 points out. You ain't got to worry about points no more. How does that feel?
Fantastic, man. We can go to Kansas and race and not worry about it. It's a good feeling. We've been close, man, all year. We've had a lot of good runs, man, and we finally got one to go our way, and it couldn't come at a better time, that's for sure.
That is a for sure fact, Curtis. Yes, it is. It was a great night for you to pull this one off. Now, this was a grueling race. This is 362 miles, almost a full Brickyard 400. Are you wore out, man?
Yeah, the back of my shirt's wet. It's stuck to the chair.
Yeah, definitely, man. I could feel you on that. That was a heck of a race from you. What a victory to pull that off. I'm going to tell you what, that was some of the best laps I've seen on old tires in a long time. So congrats to you, Curtis. Like you said, going to Kansas next week, with really nothing to worry about. How you feel about Kansas too?
Pretty good. We ran there earlier this season, and we were part of a 3-wide battle at the start-finish line there for the win. Ended up coming home second, so feeling pretty good about it. But now the pressure's off, we can just go out there and race and enjoy it. So looking forward to it.
Awesome stuff, Curtis, man. Well, congrats on the victory here tonight. Very important win for you. Anybody want to send a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I got to thank all the guys at Evolution Racing Leagues, man, that put this stuff on. They do a great job. This is a great league to run in. And got to thank my teammates over at Slide Jobs Racing, Mike Sheffield, Matt Upbrook, GT, David Edwards couldn't be with us tonight. But yeah, really, it's a great thing to run with those guys. It's a great thing to be a part of that team, man. Just glad to race with them.
Awesome stuff, Curtis. Congrats on the win, man. And we'll catch you next week at Kansas.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Curtis Preston, your winner here tonight in that number 29 machine. Backs against the wall coming here, 35 points to the gap. He pulled it off on some really old tires. That was one heck of a drive. One heck of a drive from him. And we will go to now our third, it says second place, but it's on Ryan Bean. So we'll go to our third place man. There it changed. I don't know why it said second for a second, but we'll go to Ryan Bean, our third place finisher, and see what his thoughts were on tonight's race in that 25 machine. Hey Ryan, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, another great run for you, Ryan. Continuing your, just straight momentum you've carried through, not being in the playoffs, but during these playoff races here on Freaky Fast, you've been amazing throughout all of them. Definitely had a little bit of a different strategy there to the leader, Curtis Preston. What were your thoughts going into that final restart when you got that caution? Were you surprised? Did you feel like you had something for him? Or, man, I'm telling you what, that 29 was impressive all night, though. So, but a great run for yourself. How did you feel going into that caution?
Yeah, good. First of all, good run by Preston. I think the caution really didn't help me because I knew GT was catching me, but I think I was also catching the 29. I think it would have been super close, but again, that caution really didn't help. But he was able to hold us off, so good win to him.
Yeah, it definitely was, man. You had a great run all night. You had to rebound from that mistake on pit road. How tough was that?
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. That's the third week in a row I've messed up on pit road, but luckily we were able to bounce back. I knew I was one of the top cars here today. I kind of figured that in the first stage, and I kind of just used the second stage just to basically kill my tires and get back up to the front. Luckily it worked.
Well, you did an excellent job of it, Ryan, man, to come back out of that after falling all the way back into the mid-20s there. And have to make your way back there to really use them tires up with the limited sets you had tonight. So congrats on getting back up into this top 3 position here and having a really good race. Anybody want to send a shout out to you before we let you go for the third place finish?
First of all, Ryan for putting on the show. You guys for broadcasting it. It's awesome. I rewatch it every night. I love it. Family and teammates, especially Adam Buzzio on my team. He puts in at least a practice every night, and man, he puts in the work. I can't wait to see him get his win finally. That's it. So thank you guys.
Awesome stuff, Ryan. Congrats on third, man, and we'll catch you next week at Kansas. All right, that was Ryan Bean, your third place finisher there. And now we're going to move on to GT, the man, the myth, the legend. GT is always up here in that 14, always running good in that Busch car. Just really, really strong as always, and definitely a good points night for him also coming in here tied for the points. Hey, GT, it's Zach for the booth, man. You got a copy?
Hey, Zach. How's it going, guys?
Hey, man, it's going great. I tell you what, that was a heck of a race here tonight for yourself. Had a little bit of a mistake there, speeding on pit road there in the second stage, and was able to rebound to be able to get back into the podium positions. How does that feel, man?
Well, at first, it felt like it sucked. I was like, oh, my God, 40-second penalty. I actually asked the race board to review that and see, because I didn't know if I hit the, commitment cone. I didn't remember doing that, or I was just speeding. What happened was that I was coming in a little hot. And when I got on the binders there, it started to turn on me. So I had to lift. I had to get off the brakes in order to keep it from spinning. I guess that did me in. I got caught speeding, but Yeah, I mean, I was just telling Curtis, I mean, congrats to him, you know, for that win there. I mean, I was like, dude, I had to drive my ass off to get back up there. It was crazy, man. I'm really appreciative of all the guys of how clean they race here, man.
It was a beautiful race to watch for us up here. It was a very grueling race too. You know, I asked the other guys about this. You know, 362 miles here at the Brickyard. How you feeling after that, man?
And, you know, here's the thing. I'm a one-handed driver. You know, my right hand stays on my gear shifter or on my jab button. So, you know, the good thing is the straightaways are so long. I was able to take my hand and just kind of, you know, relax my fingers there because I mean they were starting to cramp up. So I ain't gonna lie. And you know, toward the end of this thing, I was, you know, talking to my teammates. I was like, you know, this is a long race. I was like, man, you know, you really don't put it into perspective until you're actually out there doing it. It actually was a long race, but it was fun though. You know, I mean, it really was, man. I really enjoyed it.
Well, you did an awesome job all night, as always, GT. You know, you came in here with the points lead, tied for the points lead with Travis Everett coming into tonight. You know, 33 points up, got some good stage points in that first stage. Wasn't able to get stage points there in the second stage, unfortunately. But a good finish in second should put you pretty well, you know, good bit above the cut line. How you feeling going into Kansas next week?
Kansas is a good track for us. I mean, really, you know, any mile and a half when we feel confident to go to, that we'll be just as good as anybody else out there. You know, again, I'm really happy that Curtis actually won this race, and you know he can advance himself on because you know if you remember back a while back, I think it was Chicago. I ended up taking him out for a stage win there and screwed him up pretty bad. So I'm really glad to see him rebound. So therefore, he can kind of go carefree from here on out. You know.
Definitely so, man. It was a great race to watch, GT. Congrats on second. Anybody wants to shout out to before we let you go, man?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming out here with Freaky Fast. It's always cool having you. You know, I want to thank Ryan and Scott for putting on the RSR League here, and also Sheffield for everything he does, you know, when it comes to painting these cars and actually kind of really helping me out, you know, when it comes to fuel mileage and stuff like that. He's kind of, you know, let me know, you know, hey, yeah, you know, we got this many laps and this and that and so forth. So I really appreciate that. And once again, like I always say, man, I'm really appreciative to all the guys that run in this league. I mean, it's a stellar group. They're very respectful on the track, and you know, I appreciate that. I'm sure everybody else does, and you know, that's about it, man. If anybody's looking for a league to race in, this is a hell of a place to race in. There ain't no doubt about that.
That's for sure, man. We appreciate you guys, and y'all put on a heck of a show for us every week. So we appreciate you, GT. Congrats on second, man, and we will catch you next week at Kansas.
10-4, guys. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
You too, buddy. All right, that was GT there in the 14 machine, bringing it home in second, as you heard from him. Had to drive his tail off to get back there, so it was really cool to see him get back in that position. And we will go to our final race results here tonight. Curtis Preston with his back against the wall, bringing home the victory in that 29 machine. Second will go to teammate GT Irizarry. Third will go to Ryan Bean. Fourth is going to be Travis Everett at 59 after a good rebound from an early mistake. Fifth is going to go to last week's winner, Craig A. Burns, in that 12 machine. Sixth goes to Kevin Ruff for a good run for him. Seventh there, playoff driver Zach Schrittenthal, another playoff driver here. Eighth of Matthew Rush. Ninth will go to another playoff driver, Nolan Potter in that 34 machine. 10th will go to Brock Potter in that 4. 11th is Chad B. Singer. 12th will go to Nathan Campbell, running really good all race. Unfortunately, didn't get the position he probably deserved. 13th will go to Robert Nestor in that 8th spot. 14th will go to Kevin Giadricic. 15th, the playoff driver Randy Cornwell. 16th is Bob Fitzpatrick. 17th, another playoff driver there, Michael Sheffield. 18th is going to be another playoff driver, Scott Taylor. 19th, first car lap down will be Harold Watkins. 20th, Anthony Yunes. 21st, Casey Coots. 22nd, Tony Ludi. 23rd, Adam Buzzio. 24th is going to go to Dustin Stallings. 25th, Matt Upbrook, another playoff driver. Junior Miller will be 26th. 27th will go to Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 28th will go to Kevin Zabladil. 29th will be Ryan Ezel. 30th is going to go to Kevin Sevilla, a playoff driver who definitely didn't need that run tonight. 31st will go to Richard Gonzalez. 32nd, David Hall. 33rd, Michael Martino. Daniel Gonzalez. 34th, Andrew Little. 35th, rounding out the field, one of your playoff drivers. So, guys, that was the race results here tonight from the RSR Cup Series at Evolution Racing Leagues. I'm going to tell you what, guys, that was a grueling race. It was fun to watch. And here's your finishing results for your playoff drivers here in order, so you can see where they all finished out. As Curtis Preston, like we said, first playoff driver to get a victory in the playoffs. So congrats to him. What's your overall thoughts, Brandon? Because man, that was a wild finish there.
It was a long, grueling race. These guys really had to, keep the cars clean and just try to put this whole thing together. A lot of strategy involved. Nobody, it seemed, had anything for Curtis, even with that late caution. He's still able to pull it in. Great race from him. Great recovery for a lot of guys that had some trouble on pit road. And to nearly go 145 laps without any incidents, it's a very big testament to this league and all the drivers in it. So I want to say congratulations to those guys.
Definitely was, man. What a race we had here tonight. Shout out to all the sponsors, all the viewers, everybody out there that made this happen. We had a blast here up in the booth, and man, we can't wait to get to Kansas next week. And we also have some Sim Racing Unleashed races tomorrow night in the truck series for them guys on Wednesday night. So make sure to tune in there, give us a like, a follow, a subscribe. We love you all. Thank y'all for everything.
That is correct. Thank you, gentlemen, for a long race, grueling race, but fun race to watch. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it here tonight at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But Brandon, Zach, and Robert A. Moyer here in the booth would like to tell everybody, God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Bye.